Good afternoon and welcome to an absolutely beautiful Trent Bridge. Well, it's always beautiful, but it is also bathed in sunshine today as Kirsty Gordon leads her Blaze side out into the middle. Blaze versus Surrey. Sam Dalling alongside James Gray here in this Women's Vitality Blast clash. Top of the table clash as well. The top two sides meeting. Surrey currently top, Blaze in second. Both teams have lost only once in the competition thus far. The one defeat for Surrey was down at the Oval against the Blaze. Now the Blaze will consider themselves a tad unlucky because in their last two home games here at Trent Bridge they did have a victory up at Chesterfield in between. They have had washouts against Somerset, bottom of the table Somerset. Kirsty Gordon tossed the coin and then it rained, so they didn't play at all. Against Durham this time last week they managed 4.1 overs and then the rain came. The game was already shortened. It was shortened further still to the extent that there was no game at all. So they've dropped points, but not out of any fault of their own. They've also had a tie here. Anyway, both sides are unchanged. The Blaze are unchanged from that game I was talking about against Durham. I'll go through their side very shortly. Surrey are unchanged from a win at Edgbaston against Warwickshire a couple of nights ago, which means the two opening batters for them will be the skipper, Bryony Smith, who a short while ago, in fact, won the toss and elected to bat, which is why she is out there in the middle. I'm just having a look to see who is alongside her. It's a pretty fluid batting lineup. So I think it's Alice Davison-Richards out there. Cassidy McCarthy is going to take the new ball from the Stuart Broad end. Good line to start. Smith gets that one out towards backward point. So that Surrey team in for Bryony Smith, Alice Monaghan, Kira Chatley, Grace Harris, Emma Jones, Alice Davison-Richards, Phoebe Franklin, Kelly Moore, Rhiannon McDonald-Gay, Alexa Stonehouse and Danny Gregory. Two fielders out. Deep square leg and deep mid wicket for Bryony Smith. So the Blaze side is the skipper Kirsty Gordon, Marie Kelly and Georgia Elwes, Catherine Bryce, Sarah Bryce, Heather Graham, Ella Claridge, Michaela Kirk, Sarah Glenn, Cassidy McCarthy, who is bowling right now, and Grace Ballinger. The umpires are Neil Pratt, who is standing now, and Gabby Brown, who's at square leg. Flicked away by Bryony Smith, cannot get it past mid wicket there, where Ella Claridge is swooping. So 3 dots to start the game. Welcome to all you Blaze fans who are out there on the live stream. Welcome to the Surrey fans too. Welcome to neutrals, cricket fans, people wishing they were in the sunshine. Oh, a little tickle. It would have been a wide. I think they're going to pick up a couple of runs there. They are indeed. In fact, they're going to come back for free. It's good running from Alice Davison-Richards there. Sarah Bryce did well to get a little palm on that behind the stumps. Just tickled it around the corner. But they were still able to pick up free. So Smith has free from 4 balls. As Kirsty Gordon has a first look at Alice Davison-Richards. Just goes over to Cassidy McCarthy and sorts a field out. So still 2 fielders out. Remember, only a couple allowed the 26 over batting and power play. But they've just moved a little bit squarer. So there's a fine leg and a deep square leg for Alice Davison-Richards. Still can't get it away. This is a good line from Cassidy McCarthy. All bar that one ball that she sent down the leg side and was tickled away. Had been really tight to that off stump, forcing the batters to try and make their own room, and they haven't really been able to yet. There's a fielder at short third, backward point, a couple of fielders in the covers, mid on, mid off, and a mid wicket. Dot ball to finish. Ideal start from Cassidy McCarthy, who gets a warm round of applause. Well, I think everything today is warm, really, if not absolutely baking hot. I'm quite pleased to be sat inside with the air conditioning on. I did venture out onto the pitch a little bit before play, and it is hot. It's one of those days when you walk outside and the heat suddenly hits you, and we don't get too many of those in England. I probably didn't need the long sleeve t-shirt that I've decided to wear today. But anyway, I save a little bit of cash on the sun cream, so everyone's a winner. Right, the skipper, Kirsty Gordon, as she so often does, is going to start us off with a little bit of left arm spin. Skipper to skipper, Bryony Smith on strike, 3 from 4 balls. Alice Davidson-Richards yet to score down the other end. Marie Kelly down at long on is one of the 2 fielders outside the ring this time around. There's a deep mid wicket as well. And she's in the game immediately. Wasn't the best delivery that Kirsty Gordon has bowled in her career, and Catherine Bryce is out there, saving her a boundary. Smiths moves on to 4. Slight change of field for Alice Davidson-Richards. Another fielder comes across into the offside. Pack that ring. Slightly wider line, and Alice Davidson-Richards makes a beautiful shot there. It was a little bit too flighty, perhaps, from Kirsty Gordon. Clearly very aware that Alice Davidson-Richards is very strong on that offside of that ring of fielders. Problem is, in the power play, if it goes either side of them, they're all up in the ring. No margin for error, really. First boundary of the Surrey innings. Goes again. Good bit of flight there again from Gordon. Almost saw Alice Davidson-Richards coming there. Turned it into a bit of a Yorker dot ball. Georgia Elwes, I think it is, doing the fielding in the covers. She's alongside Sarah Glenn in there. Lots of experience in this Blaze side. Oh, and that one will disappoint both fielder and bowler. In fact, it's Heather Graham in there, and she just looks accusingly down at the wicket. I'm not sure if that's the one that was used in the last T20 game here last week, but it's certainly a used square. And it just bounced awkwardly in front of her. She really ought to have done better. A bonus boundary for Alice Davidson-Richards. 2 in the over. 12 without loss. Ten off the over then. Davidson-Richards will retain the strike. She's got 9 from 6 balls. Couple of overs gone here at Trent Bridge. Surrey, who won the toss, elected to bat, have reached 13 without loss. Immediate change of bowling, just like we saw actually in that Durham game. Kirsty Gordon likes to change her bowlers around up. Bowlers around up? Bowlers around. Could have said bowlers. Could have said change it up. Could have said change the bowlers around. I went for a mix. Anyway, we'll move on. Cassidy McCarthy has moved on for the time being. Just 3 runs from her opening over. And it's the left arm seam of Grace Ballinger, who is going to come in from the Stuart Broad end. Tends to get a little bit of shape with that brand new white ball. We saw Davidson-Richards just using her feet there to try and negate it. Hasn't quite got the big score that her talent demands. Only her 6th game she's been away on England A duty. Again, cramped for room by Ballinger, just like McCarthy was doing. These 2 batters having to try and make their own width, and so far against the seamers they've not been successful. So yeah, best of 28 unbeaten for Alice Davidson-Richards so far this season in this competition. Goes wide, it goes just a tad too wide. You can see what Grace Ballinger thinks of that. She was hoping because Davison Richards had just given herself a little bit of room, taken that step outside of leg stump, that she might get away with that one. It was tight to that blue line, and Neil Pratt decides she has to bowl it again. Extra run to the Surrey total. Swing and a miss. Oh, you can see Alice Davison Richards fuming with herself there. It was well bowled by Grace Ballinger. I think she saw Davison Richards just taking a couple of steps towards the offside and again followed her. She was trying to open up that leg side potentially, but there are those two fielders out there, deep square leg and deep mid wicket. Tip and run. Davison Richards moves into double figures with that single. Without loss here, Surrey. A couple of balls remaining in the third over of the game. Can't get that one away. Bryony Smith's trying to flick it into the leg side, but it's straight at mid wicket. It's a rogue throw. It's gone over the head of Sarah Bryce, apologies. But fortunately for her, there was a fielder backing up. Ella Claridge did well. Saved any bonus runs. Sweep from Bryony Smith, who picks up a single, knows this ground well, has played up at Trent Rocket, it's in the hundreds. A single to end the over. I really enjoy watching Bryony Smith play. So after 3 overs here at Trent Bridge, sorry, Bryony Smith having won the toss and said, oh, we'll have a bat, please. And made their way on to 16 without loss. If you're just joining us, welcome. Remember, top of the table clash, this one. First versus second. Surrey currently leading the Vitality Blast table. And we're going to see another change of bowling. Again, a move that happens quite frequently. Kirsty Gordon will bowl the second over after Cassidy McCarthy. Then Cassidy McCarthy comes off and she switches ends and comes back for over number 4, which is exactly what she's going to do today. Remember, just 3 runs off that opening over, that little hop, skip and a jump. She's into Bryony Smith, who can't quite get that one away. And I see next to me that James Gray turned up for work. Hello, James. How are you?
I'm very well.
James Gray? James Carl. Why am I calling you James Gray?
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's been a long day, hasn't it?
It's hot today.
It's a warm day. Yes. Apologies for being a little bit late.
That's all right. Traffic's horrendous, isn't it?
It's awful.
Can't get that one away. You just get the impression these two are getting a tad frustrated. Marie Kelly there fielding it mid-on. It was hit hard by Bryony Smith. She did get hold of it, but hit too hard to allow us to take the single.
So, Sam, what have I missed?
What have you missed? 16 runs, 3.2 overs. Couple of boundaries from Alice Davison Richards off Kirsty Gordon. 10 off her over. She bowled the second over. Otherwise, it's been pretty frugal from the seamers. Short ball pulled away. Catherine Bryce is out there, so should be just a single.
An early assessment of the pitch, how's that playing?
It looks a decent one, actually. The seamers have bowled pretty well. They've kept it pretty tight. The batters are having to try and make their own width, and they haven't been able to yet, but decent carry. Grace Ballinger was getting good carry through. A bit of bounce for Cassidy McCarthy. Gets away with that one, perhaps. It just sat up quite nicely. Davison Richards hits it into the ground. There's that ring of fielders for her. They know her strengths in the offside. So Kirsty Gordon is at mid-off. You've got Elwys Graham and Sarah Glenn, all that experience in a triangle right on the edge of that 25-yard circle on the offside. This time he gets it past Glenn though. She moved a couple of paces to her left, put that left mitt out. Couldn't get enough on it to stop it though, and it's a boundary for Davidson Richards, her third of the inning. She moves on to 14.
We saw on Sunday, didn't we, that Cassidy McCarthy had that deep backward point as a boundary rider in the power play. They've opted for two on the leg side in this over, but that's kind of where that delivery goes. She bowls that heavy ball on that heavy length. If she just misses that length, she can get punished with a horizontal bat.
Margins are tight. Oh, tries to go again. Bottom edge though, could have gone anywhere. That ends up being a dot ball. 4 overs gone here at Trent Bridge. Surrey in the power play. It's 21 without loss, and what we're going to have is it a change of something, change of gloves. Finalist Davidson Richards. Plenty of drinks. Any opportunity to take a drink today, I tell you what, James.
Yeah, what you having, gin and tonic?
Ah, wow. Alas, there's way too much driving to be done today. Hopefully it's cleared up later. That's a problem for later us. Did you get a little jog on from the car park, or is it too hot for that?
A little trot to Dad. But yeah, it is very hot. I think everyone's just maybe clocked off for the weekend and getting on holiday perhaps a bit early, or getting off from work a bit early. Heat wave all weekend. Make it a long one as well as a hot one. So Grace Ballinger is going to carry on from the Stuart Broad end. She's left arm over the wicket. Ooh, drilled back at the bowler there. I think it was a bump ball. Bryony Smith has got her back to us because she's batting from the Radcliffe Road end. So I can't be sure, but the response and reaction from the fielders was not one that suggested it was a chance of a catch. So Ballinger starts the 5th over with a dot, running away from that pavilion covered in tarpaulin at the moment. This one's worked round the corner. Just be the single. They ran that one hard. Not 2s and 3s, is it?
Boundaries, please. Not really a day for even... You can, don't mind walking ones down to long on, but boundaries are the order of the day, I'm sure.
Advanced down the track there, Davidson Richards. Gorgeous shot. Swung through the line of the ball, over mid-on. Couple of bounces and over the rope for 4.
Yeah, perhaps the shot that just releases that little bit of pressure if they immediately called for the helmet as well for Sarah Bryce. She's been using her feet. Well, I was going to say quite well. She has been using her feet to the seamer. She hasn't really got many away yet.
It's smart cricket though, isn't it? Mid-on and mid-off are up. Boundary riders are out on the leg side. Pitch is true. Keeper stood back. If you shuffle down and it's there, you can just throw your hands through it. And ADR is a high-class cricketer. It was more than just throw the hands through. So, Sarah Bryce up to the wicket. Offered a bit more width this time, and it will be given a wide. So, 1 into the extras column.
Good hands from Sarah Bryce there. Good to see her back in an England shirt as well. As Davidson Richards, it had been a while playing for part of that West Indies one-day international series.
She swatted straight, hit something on the way through, so it takes the sting out of it, and it'll just be a single. ADR just not happy, is she, with... Oh, it's Iglesias this time. She rips the gloves off after a follow-through of completing the single. She's tying a shoelace now down on one knee. She's a very animated and busy player, isn't she, Alice Davidson Richards? When she gets going, she is a sight to behold. So we got a very classy 100 in the test match at Taunton a few years back.
Yes.
Against South Africa. But you say she's been a bit in and out of the side, hasn't she?
Well, she was very much out, wasn't she, for about 3... That summer was her last set of appearances, wasn't it, before this year?
played England A and games. You know, she's well thought of in the 100. Has never missed out in the draft. So Ballinger, ball in hand, bangs this one in. It's going to go round the corner. That boundary rider will cut that off. So it's just a single. Bryony Smith just showing a little bit of frustration there. She's turned a couple round the corner that she probably thought would be 4, but the Blaze and the skipper getting the angles right for those boundary riders, trying to minimise runs in the power play. Alistair Davis just holding the pose there. She plays that back foot drive, standing tall. No run to end the over. So Surrey 29 without loss after 5.
It's a final over of the power play before those fielding restrictions are removed. Just 2 fielders allowed outside that 25-yard circle for the time being. Sam Dunning alongside James Carr here at Trent Bridge. First instalment of a double header as well. Nottinghamshire's men's team taking on Durham's men's team later on this evening, and it looks to me like Cassidy McCarthy is going to continue her third over. She'll have bowled half the power play by the time we're finished. 2 for just the 8 runs so far, bowled 1 at each end. Smith strikes that one really well. It was Fuller, it was there to be hit. Couldn't get it past Elwes though. It was right on the edge of that 25-yard circle, so she didn't really get value for her runs there, Bryony Smith. And she's just getting bogged down a little bit. 8 from 15 balls in the power play. How will that affect her? The Surrey skipper. She obviously liked the look of the pitch because she won the toss and said, "Oh, we'll have a bat, please, Kirsty." Gets that one away. Doesn't quite time it as well, but such is cricket's way. Just to the left of Heather Graham, and it's raced away on this rapid outfield. Graham gave valiant chase, actually. She didn't give up there, even though it was always, you could just tell it was always sneaking away from her, but as a fielder, you cannot give up.
As you said that, she didn't get all of it. I actually thought it's still 4 though. The way it runs off that square and how dry the outfield is.
Yeah, there's a lot of wickets, a lot of pitches here at Trent Bridge. Short ball pulled. There's 2 fielders out there. It can't beat them. It does split them.
Another single though to Bryony Smith, where she probably felt like she'd have wanted more from it.
Yeah, it was there. It was the ball there to be hit. It was probably a 4 ball. Cassidy McCarthy got away with that one. Halfway through her third over. 3 balls left of this power play. That's gone into the gap though. Alice Davidson-Richards, her third boundary off bowlers from this end. It was Kirsty Gordon. She hit them off a little bit earlier. Now she's doing the same to Cassidy McCarthy. Unless that is going straight to Elwes or Graham, it's going to be 4, isn't it? And that was right between the 2 of them. She was reaching a little bit when she played the shot. She won't mind too much.
Yeah, Kirsty Gordon just having a chat to her about her length there and where that ball needs to kind of meet the batter. Signalling, it's got to hit her on the thigh or hit her on the hip. But I actually think it was line more than anything. When she gets that line a bit tighter, she's very difficult to get away.
Slightly changes her line there. Flicked up in the air. Will just be a single out to Catherine Bryce at deep square leg. I think that is what Kirsty Gordon was suggesting to her, that she went a little bit straighter.
Yeah, a little bit fuller that time, so she could flick through it. But on pitches like this, you've got to keep the stumps in play.
Bryony Smith maybe showing that frustration. And just having a look at the pitch there as well. The way she's finished, she was trying to hit that out towards deep mid-wicket, maybe even over deep mid-wicket. She's a tad frustrated. Cassidy McCarthy isn't, and the power play has come to an end. Sorry, having won the toss and elected to bat have reached 39. Perhaps not the most prolific power play ever. Well, it definitely isn't. It's certainly not the power play they might have liked, but they haven't lost a wicket, which is equally as important sometimes.
Yeah, 6.5 runs per over from the first 6. No wickets, as you say, probably honours even. The deeper Surrey go into this innings with wickets in the 10th, the more they can expand. So I'd say it's honours even here. 4 players can be out the circle now riding the ropes. So Sarah Glenn will come into the attack from the Stuart Broad end. That pavilion in the background, currently covered in black tarpaulin as it has its refurb and rebuild. So not quite looking as pristine and iconic Trent Bridge at the moment, but I'm sure it'll be a sight to behold once it's complete. So first over out the power play, and Sarah Glenn with ball in hand. Cut away behind backward point.
I wonder if they considered what you sometimes see in London and in cities is when a building has a load of work done on it, they then it's not a tarpaulin they put up, they basically get the building printed onto whatever, it's probably not cardboard, but whatever they print it onto, and then sort of replicate it as if it's there. And I always think, what a waste of cash.
Probably doesn't cost that much to, in the grand scheme of things, that probably doesn't cost that much to do, but I understand what you're saying, and they haven't done it. So this one's forward cut and well fielded there at that extra cover on the disc region. I think that's a great fielding position. You mentioned it in the previous over, where you just kind of sit back. It's not a short extra cover. It's very much in that pocket on the edge of the circle. We see so many runs plop over there in the air or hit hard along the ground, and I think it's not only a run saving position, but when batters try to force it, the ball goes in that region. So I think it's also a good catching position. Room again, cut away from ADR. Boundary rider, who's that out there? Is it Michaela Kirk? Oh no, it's got that ponytail looks a bit longer. I've missed the teams as well.
I think it is unchanged from last Friday. I think it is Michaela Kirk out there. I'm just trying to make up the number. The gold number is a long way away.
She's wearing a longer, but it looks like her ponytail feels a bit longer, like it's not been doubled back. Slog swept hard, well in front of square. It's going to be cut off by deep mid wicket, so there'll be no run.
Yeah, it's Heather Graham out there at deep mid wicket, isn't it?
Yep.
Catherine Bryce was riding the boundary.
She's in it.
Out
Extra
there.
cover at the moment, isn't she?
Yeah.
Sarah Glenn once again. Cut away again. Through, it'll just be the single. Yeah, they've kind of split the field, haven't they? So fielders aren't running from one side to the other in this heat.
Oh, yeah, it's a big old shift, that.
And the width of the ground is very long from side to side, isn't it? It's got some weird and wonderful dimensions that I constantly talk about, but
It's not ovular, is it?
no,
Is that the right word? Ovular? For an oval?
I would say so, yeah. Smith back on strike. She's gone right across that one. There's a half appeal. Umpire is unmoved, and that's the end of Sarah Glenn's first over. That's the end of the 7th over. Surrey 44 without loss. Just looking back at the replay on that one. Yeah, she shaped as if it went down the leg side, but it went between everything and evaded everything. So are we going to see a bit of Captain Kirsty Gordon here now?
She's been a touch expensive in her first over, 1 over 0 for 10, but it looks like the cap is off and the captain is on. 44 without loss then. Davidson Richards going really nicely, 27 from 21. Bryony Smith is playing one of those innings at 15 from 21. It's now at a stage where it can go one of two ways. If she gets out now, it starts to look like a waste of, well, a sixth of the innings, but there's still time for her to turn it around, and suddenly if she gets to 40, 50 from 30, 35 balls, it's completely different, as Davidson Richards is using her feet. Kirsty Gordon flights that one up. Can't get it past Ella Claridge in there at mid-wicket, who just fumbles it, and they think about her and they don't get one.
Yeah, Bryony's one of the best batters in the domestic game, so I think she's just got to relax and just keep playing, really.
Uses her feet, lost it down towards Marie Kelly, who takes a great catch at long on, judges it really well. I think initially she thought it was coming a little bit further towards her, and then a second before it arrived, she realised she was going to have to move forward. She gets down low, she takes the catch. The Blaze have their first wicket. It's Alice Davidson-Richards who has to depart for 27 from 23 balls. Surrey, a 44 for 1.
Yeah, really well judged by Marie Kelly there. For a second I thought it was just going to fall short of her, and then she just managed to get half a dive out, get those hands out in front of her, and it didn't pop out as she hit the ground. So first real chance offered from the Surrey women, and it's taken gladly by the Blaze.
Yeah, they will be pleased with that. They needed that really, and if it was one of the two, Davidson Richards was going the better, so they've broken that opening partnership. Kirsty Gordon's comeback has already been more successful than her opening over. Difficult to bowl in the power play with just a couple of fielders out against high quality opening batters. She'll feel a little bit better about things now, Kirsty Gordon.
Yeah, we've seen Kirsty use spin, haven't we, in the power play, and obviously it's not paid off today, but you've got to be able to bowl in all the phases of playing limited overs cricket.
New batter then is Kira Chatley, batting at free for Surrey today.
She's had a bit of form this year, hasn't she, in particular 50 overs. And
yeah, she hasn't quite got going in this format. Had 3 ducks already. 10 knocks. That's slightly more successful than Metro Bank. In at 3 today. It's in the left arm spin of Kirsty Gordon. Again, tosses that one up. Pushed out. I think it's Cassidy McCarthy out there. And deep extra cover, so they take a single. She's off the mark straight away. That fielder at cover just drops back to the edge of the circle for Bryony Smith on strike. Flicks that one down the ground. Just a single to Marie Kelly. Completely different feel when Bryony Smith is on strike. They move fine leg, which is Grace Ballinger, a short fine leg across the short third. Try and stop her playing that cut shot that she likes. Flatter turned around the corner by Chaffley. She moves on to 2. There we see it, Ballinger trotting across. Extra cover dropping. Hit hard. Straight to Heather Graham though. Wonder if there's half a chance for a catch there, but it fell. It was flat and it fell well short of her in the end. But a good over from Kirsty Gordon, just free off it, and the wicket of Alice Davidson-Richards, which means after 8 overs here at Trent Bridge, Surrey 47 for 1.
Yeah, Blaze will be really happy with that breakthrough. Really important. They build dots, build pressure between over 7 to 10. Try and stifle the run rate and make Surrey try and hit out, try and make them do something different.
It's a huge opportunity for the Blaze here, almost chasing Surrey's tail, and I was saying a bit at the start, they'll feel a little bit unlucky because the 2 home games here at Trent Bridge they've had rained off, against Somerset and against Durham. And look, there's no guarantees in cricket, but if you look at the table, when you look at the Blaze's form across 3 or 4 summers in T20 cricket, I think they'd have backed themselves to win both of those games against the bottom 2 sides. No chance of rain here today, I don't reckon, though.
I hope not. Catherine Bryce into the attack. First ball there, drilled hard at that straight mid-wicket, and Sarah Glenn is unable to hold on. So Catherine Bryce, who makes things happen, is straight on the money. Well, the chance isn't taken. So life for Chatley. She's 3 from 3. Smith back on strike. She slaps that hard into the leg side. It'll bounce once in front of Heather Graham, who'll do the fielding at deep mid-wicket. You could almost say it's a deep cow corner. It's way in front of square. Gently back on strike. Bryce in. This one hit hard up the ground. Aerially again. Be cut off by Michaela Kirk out at long on. 50 up for Surrey in 8.3 overs. Down the leg side this time, and down on one knee is Bryony Smith. It'll just be a single. Cut off by Cassidy McCarthy. I think deep square leg is such a pivotal position in one-day cricket. You get the angles right on that, it's one all day long, but it's frustrating as a batter. Bit of a reverse lap there, not got much contact on it, so it'll just run away for one. Ella Claridge doing the fielding there.
Just something a little bit more inventive, though. We haven't seen much of it yet from Surrey. Chatley trying to make things happen.
It's not a terrible option because point is backward. It's not a short third. Smith into the leg side again. She's gone aerially. This is a bit of hang time here, and Heather Graham's under it. Well held. She's in a perfect position there. She got herself in 10 off the boundary. And it was almost catching practice for Heather Graham there. As Bryony Smith holds out, she departs for 18. 35 minutes was her stay and 26 balls, just the 1-4. And Surrey slipped to 52 for 2.
Should have had a wicket with the first ball of her over, Catherine Bryce. Chatley should have gone, put down by Sarah Glenn, but she finishes her over with a wicket, a big one. The Surrey skipper, who has not enjoyed her best day with that. She hadn't got going yet, but I still think that's a huge, huge wicket for the Blaze, because it would only have taken her one shot, Bryony Smith, to get her eye in, feel, ball on bat, and she could have still been destructive and made a big score there. So big wicket.
Yeah, looking at it from a Blaze point of view, they've built pressure, haven't they? Which has created the rash shot, if you like, from Bryony Smith. Flip it to a nearly said stars then. Flip it to a Surrey lens, and actually there was no need to panic. There's a long way to go in this run chase. Bryony Smith can get 50 runs off the last 5 overs on her own if she gets going. But pressure, dot balls, minimising boundaries, brings rash shots, and yeah, it was not the most played percentage shot there from Bryony Smith. Big boundary out there, high quality fielder.
Grace Harris is the new batter. She'll be down at the non-strikers end, because that was the end of the over, and the new over, I was going to say, sees a new bowler, not a new bowler, a different bowler. Kirsty Gordon has come out of the attack, or removed herself from the attack, and Sarah Glenn, who's bowled one over from the Stuart Broad end, switches ends here. You can see just 5 runs in that opening over. A couple of newest batters on strike. Chatley, who's got 5, gets that one away. Shy at the non-striker's end. It's a quick single, probably a pretty comfortable single in the end in the context of T20 cricket. Heather Graham at almost a short third. It's between backward point and short third, really. There's Sarah Glenn. She's now being moved a little bit squarer of the wicket. So Grace Harris about to face her first ball. A couple of 100 runs in the tournament for her so far. She's been in decent nick. Oh, that's a beauty. That is a leg spinner's dream. Not the best shot. First up, I have to say, from Harris. That's just turned. Taken by Sarah Bryce. Good pressure. Approaching the halfway point in this inning. Hit down the ground. It's hit pretty straight. That's a much better shot from Grace Harris. I wondered if Marie Kelly was going to be able to cut it off down in front of us here. The answer was a resounding no. A couple of bounces over the boundary. Harris moves on to 4.
Yeah, classy shot from the Australian. There is another way of looking at this as well with the Bryony Smith dismissal, is they've got so much talent that you can perhaps put your foot on the gas when you've got someone like Grace Harris coming out to bat. If she gets going, it will be a very competitive score.
That one's gone up in the air. It's going to go over Grace Ballinger. Yes, just about. She didn't get herself in a brilliant position. They come back for a second. She ended up getting a hand on it, actually. She's at short fine leg. Has that... should she have got there?
I think the short answer is yes. She was a bit slow to react, didn't get her feet moving, and had to kind of throw her hands at it. We're not down there. We don't know what's in her eye line. It's a lot of yardage and angles to cover there, but she will be disappointed she's not got in a position to take the catch there. She's such a character as well, isn't she, Grace Harris? Some great online content of her mic'd up at the Big Bash.
I wonder what she might have said there had she been on mic. It's been an interesting start, hasn't it? A wild swing at one, a proper leg spinner that's turned away from her. A lovely shot down the ground. And a sweep that, well, she got away with one. She's still there, though. 6 from 4. Short ball pulled. Just be one, though. Catherine Bryce out there patrolling the deep mid-wicket boundary. So a decent over from a Surrey perspective. 8 runs from it. Should have been a wicket, really. Alas, Grace Harris, from a player's perspective, is still there. Surrey will be delighted she's still there. And the score is 60 for 2, halfway through the innings, James.
Yeah, it's still, in the balance, this, isn't it? Very much on as even. Only 2 down, so it's a pretty decent springboard for Surrey to go bang. But you add a couple of wickets to it, you bowl a few dots, you minimise the boundaries. And the Blaze very much will turn the screw and keep that pressure on. So we're going to see Heather Graham bowl to her Australian counterpart. She's going to trundle in from the Stuart Broad end. She's in right arm over the wicket. Well, she's got plenty of bat on this one. They're going to come back for 2. Just got that one shuffled round behind square enough that Cassidy McCarthy had to do a bit of yardage there. So they get back for 2. Harris on 9 from 6. Very busy at the crease. It's been an eventful start so far. Turns this one into the leg side. Again, they'll be on the shuffle for 2 here as McCarthy does the fielding again. Double loud call of yeah there from the Aussie, Grace Harris. Tell you what, if she's telling me I'm running for 2, I'm running for 2. That was a loud,
she wasn't stopping, was she?
A loud, authoritative call of yeah. Then yeah.
Certainly wasn't a question.
Turn into leg side once again. This time it will just be the 1.
Oh, great bit of backing up there as well from Sarah Glenn, because that chut throw was a touch wayward. Sarah Bryce wasn't able to get it, and Glenn almost overran it, ended up having to basically drop onto her back and save it just behind her, and might well have saved the boundary given the angle. There's cover out there, but last thing you want is overthrows when you've got pressure on.
Heather Graham's just asked McCarthy to come 10 off that deep square leg boundary. This one's up the ground though. Oh, it's hit her on the hands. She's not able to take that one. So another return catch goes down. Just a single to Kira Chatley. She's been dropped for the 2nd time now.
Yeah, it was a sharp one. Didn't have much time to react, Heather Graham. You could see from her reaction. A chance.
Pulled away this time. Well watched in the end by McCarthy. That one just scurried off the edges of the pitch and deviated. Just a single to Harris.
It's so difficult, isn't it? These squares and the ends of the pitches where the ball at that pace just zips into it and just changes direction slightly. Seen a couple in this over. And the Glenn back up and the McCarthy bit of fielding there.
Last ball coming up. Every ball scored off in this over so far. Bit of a hoik there from Chatley. She loses the shape. It'll squirm into the leg side. They'll just get the 1. So 2 twos and 4 singles. 8 from it. 11 gone now for the Surrey women.
Yeah, not a bad over from a Surrey perspective. As you say, 8 off it. So 8 and over from here. Gets them another 72. Which would take them up to 140, which I think would be a little bit below par on this pitch. Feels like a day for batting. Blaze will be happy enough. They chase, or required to chase 140, or maybe they wouldn't. Maybe Kirsty Gordon would like a little bit less. Well, she certainly would like a little bit less, and she's going to bring herself back into the game. 2 overs, 1 for 13 so far from Kirsty Gordon. Her and Sarah Glenn alternating as it stands. She gives it a bit of flight to Chatley, and this time she's dropped again at mid-wicket. It's the 3rd time she has been dropped in this innings, and that's probably the most straightforward of them all. Ella Claridge at mid-wicket there. It was almost like she thought it was a done deal, into the hands, and was ready to celebrate. This time it's up in the air, swept into the gap between the 2 fielders out there, and Kirsty Gordon will be ticking. Chatley moves on to 12, Surrey on to 72 for 2.
That was brilliant cricket from Chatley, just to put the last delivery out of her mind. Little shuffle across to the offside, and then splits those 2 fielders on the leg side boundary, accessing the 4 runs. As you say, puts the pressure back on the bowler.
Little reverse sweep, doesn't fully connect with it, but will pick up a single. Sarah Glenn at short third does the fielding, so she moves on to 13. And normally in those scenarios, when you see a batter dropped, up in the commentary box we say, oh, I wonder how many runs that will cost them. And the response here is, well, which drop are we talking about? Are we talking about the one on 2, the one on 7, or the one on 8? Living dangerously, but still there. Grace Harris on strike. She's also got 13. Now has 14. That one was struck hard. It was straight at Kathleen McCarthy, who's very much in the game in the field at cover. But again, just took a little bounce just before up. She did well to stop it in the end and pick up a couple.
Yeah, it's just rocking backwards and forwards, this game. 1 minute you think Blaze are on top, stifling the run throw, and then Surrey go and pounce.
Swept by Harris. Just a single in the end. I was looking at the fielding. It was a brilliant bit of fielding out there as well. So good cricket. Cricket is the winner, as we used to get told at coaching when we were kids. Not sure Kirsty Gordon will see it that way. If she wasn't feeling hot and bothered already, the 4 drop catches will be annoying her slightly. Kirsty Gordon, remember. Grace Harris dropped on 4. Big appeal for LBW. Kirsty Gordon likes it. Gabby Brown, whose opinion is the one that counts, doesn't. Harris survives. End of over number 12. 77 for 2, Surrey. Grace Harris has 17 from 12. Kira Chatley has 13 from 11.
I can only imagine this is leg side, and just looking at the replay, probably just missing leg stump. So I think it's a fair call from umpire Brown. Yeah, one thing Surrey have done really well, in particular Harris, since she's come in, is when she's hit the sweepers, she's hit them hard, and she's made them work really hard, knocking it 10 yards either side and turning 1s into 2s. Just keeps the scoreboard ticking along as Catherine Bryce is back on from Stuart Broadend. This one's hit hard up the ground, 1 bounce into the hands of Michaela Kirk at long on. So Chatley on to 14 from her 12. So she's continuously been ahead of balls faced with her runs scored. Harris, she's 17 from 12. Soon to be 18 and maybe 19 if they get back here on the throw. They do. Very good running from Chatley this time, who turned and got in the crease and got back out. Said to her Australian colleague, I'm on my way.
Yeah, put pressure on the fielder, and the throw was a little bit wayward as well. So, although I still think it would have been quite comfortable, even if it had been a bit close to the stumps.
It's a long way out there as well, isn't it? 6 stripes worth of grass out there from the bowling end. Price in, swept round the corner. This could run away. Chase is on. Casty McCarthy will do the fielding and come back for another 2. So having to do a lot of running here are the Surrey women. Not many boundaries on offer.
Just having a look back through their scores. Best of 213 for 4 so far this season against Hampshire at the Oval. Grace Harris instrumental in that, 63 from her that day.
Reverse lap this time. It's going to evade backward point. Are they going to come back for 2? They are. So another 2. Like a switch lap, that wasn't a full switch hit. Wasn't a reverse sweep. It was the slap.
That's the technical term for it. 971 for 9 to beat Lancashire Thunder, also down the Oval. 159 for 5 in a tied game against Essex.
Bright, almost perfectly straight, just to the left of the stumps. Almost hit too well, so it'd just be a single. Yeah, there's 6 stripes from where the umpire stood, and each stripe is 9 metres wide because they're the same width as 3 pitches, so it's 54 metres out there. This one's hacked into that vacant wide long on region from Kira Chatley, and they'll come back for another 2. So if you think where you stood at the other end, it's another 20 metres, isn't it? So it's a 70 metre hit, over 70 metre hit straight to that Stuart Broad end, to the pavilion end that's under construction. That is the end of the 13th then. 87 for 2 are the Surrey women. Grace Harris, 24 from her 16. Kira Chatley has been dropped 3 times before getting to 8.
And this partnership just building and starting to frustrate the Blaze, I would say. Currently worth 36 from, in fact it's worth 35 from 24 balls. Shouldn't have really been a partnership at all given the number of dropped catches, so that will frustrate them a little bit more. Sarah Glenn and Kirsty Gordon continuing to do what they do, which is rotate from this end. Grace Harris on strike, 24 from 16. Quite funky field here for her. Marie Kelly, who's almost always at long on, is at mid off. Who's gone down at long on? Is it Casty McCarthy?
No, that looks like Josie Groves is on the field.
Yeah, she is on as a sub-fielder. Josie Groves is on at long on. You've got Marie Kelly at mid off, and then is it Georgia Elwis, who's at a quite straight cover position. She's just taking a step or 2 into Chatley as well to save the single. It's in the game as well, 1 down to long on. Chatley moves on to 17, trying to work out who's gone off. And it's usually Kirsty Gordon at mid off. Is it backward point, isn't she? Yeah. This goes a yard or 2 to the right of her, but Cassie McCarthy is out there and doing brilliantly. She may well need a shower during the interval, Cassie McCarthy. Not only has she had to bowl, she's had to run around. She is certainly earning her tea. I'm not sure it's quite scones and brownies like we get at club games, but she has earned whatever she gets. 90 for 2. Halfway through the 14th here at Trent Bridge. Chipped in the air into the gap in that 25-yard circle on the offside. McCarthy again does the fielding, just the one. What they've done quite well, or very well, these two. Okay, they haven't scored a massive amount of boundaries since they came together at the end of the 9th over just a couple, but they've picked up plenty of 2s and lots of 1s. 9 of them's got stuck. Slog sweeps, gone up in the air, chance of a catch. Deep square leg comes in, steadies herself and takes it. And that is the end of Grace Harris. Sarah Glenn picks up her first wicket of the day. Grace Harris's promising innings has come to a close. 26 from 19. The Blaze needed that wicket. Surrey 91 for free.
Yeah, just leant back on that sweep. Sarah Glenn is not someone you see as a bowler get swept that often. She just leant back and kind of chopped under the ball there with that slog sweep, and it's just kind of took a very thick top edge and catching practice really for someone of Catherine Bryce's experience in deep square leg. It was Catherine Bryce, wasn't it?
I think it might have been Michaela Kirk out there. Catherine Bryce might have been at deep mid wicket. One of the two. They've been out there on that leg side anyway. Harris has to go.
Oh, you're right, it is Michaela Kirk. I beg your pardon.
Your pardon is begged. Did you say that? Right, who's going to come in now? Because this is quite a fluid order. I think that's Emma Jones, isn't it? Coming out to the middle with 88 on her back. Yeah, it is. You've got Alice Monaghan as well, who is a bit of a floater in that batting order. She scores quickly. They speak really highly of Alice Monaghan, but it's Emma Jones for all the time being who's out there.
Yep, she's another very promising young player. Not seen a bowl so much this year. I think she's on a bit of a returned phase to bowling after injury. But she's a very, very dynamic and explosive batter as well. I was going to say before Grace Harris left us that Surrey just get up to the 100 mark in the next over and a half. They're left with 5 overs. 8 wickets in the 10th. I think they go for a dip then. But even now, there are less overs left than there are wickets. So Surrey have got a bit of a licence to go hard here.
Off the mark with a single. Last ball of the 14th over. Kirsty McCarthy, as she has done pretty much all of the last hour, does the fielding. Sarah Glenn gets her cap back from Gabby Brown, the umpire, and sticks it back on her head triumphantly because she picked up a big wicket. Grace Harris falling in that over. So Sarah Glenn through 3 overs. She's got 1 for 18 so far. Her and Kirsty Gordon have been rotating for the last couple of overs from one end. Gordon is the other bowler alongside Catherine Bryce to have picked up wickets so far. Blaze pretty happy with it now, having picked up that wicket.
Yeah, I think, runs scored, absolutely. I think they'd like a couple more wickets on the wicket column. They're trying to get into the second half of this Surrey lineup because although Chatley's offered chances, she's a talented batter, and Emma Jones is very exciting too. So Heather Graham will come back on. Jones will pull this away right in front of square. So just be the single. There is nobody in the circle in front of square on the leg side. You've got Grace Ballinger at short fine leg, and then you've got a deep square leg, a deep mid wicket, and a long on. So yes, there's a single. Well, there's not much else on offer on the leg side. Graham's in, and this one's whacked into the leg side. It'll bounce a couple of times, and Kirsty McCarthy will do the fielding at deep square leg.
We need a button, don't we, really? We can just press, and it just says, and Kirsty McCarthy does the fielding out in the deep, and then we could rest our voices.
Yeah, we'd have to change it every week, though, because one week it's Catherine Bryce who's everywhere. Carved away. It hung in the air for a second, but it went through the gap between backward point and short third. It won't go all the way, though, so Emma Jones will collect 2 runs there.
Just teased Claridge and Sarah Glenn, didn't it? Hung in the air for a little bit, but it didn't go to either of them.
Yeah, I always feel here at Trent Bridge, because of the shape of the boundary of it, the ball always goes to Catherine Bryce. She's always everywhere. Tries to whack this one into the leg side and hits the pads of Emma Jones. Looking to use that bottom hand a bit, isn't she, and hit it hard into the leg side. Got to find the gap and hit it well though. Shuffles this time, goes straighter. Think about 2 and decide against it. Kayla Kirk out there at long on. She's everywhere as well, isn't she? Deep backward square from the Radcliffe Road end, and then all the way out to long on at the pavilion end. Use of the crease from Chatley this time, and Graham follows her. She can't get that ball away, so that's a dot to finish the 15th. Surrey 97 for 3. Emma Jones 5 from 5. Kira Chatley 19 from 17. Surrey just not quite going anywhere at the moment. The platform's set for a big innings really. They need a 30 or a 40, don't they, off a 15 or 20. And
yeah, I think Emma Jones might be the one that has to provide it. Capable of scoring quickly. I mean, she's so young still, but it feels like she's been around for ages. I think when they were South East Stars, she played back in 2021. This would be her home ground actually later in the summer, wouldn't it? I think she's with the Trent Rockets for the 100 as well. As Sarah Glenn is in for her last over. Jones trying to make some width, can't force it away though. Dot ball, precious dot ball at this stage. 4.5 overs to go. Sorry, yet to reach triple figures. Got that field of Marie Kelly and Georgia Elwes. Straight on the offside. And she's bowled her. That cameo will not come from Emma Jones. She throws her head up into the sky again. She was trying to create her own whip. Sarah Glenn not giving her any whatsoever. If you can't rely on the catching, bowl it straight at the stumps. Jones goes for 5. The Blaze have their 4th wicket. Sorry, a 97 for 4.
yeah, Jones was trying to do something, trying to give herself a bit of space to hit the ball through the offside, but can't quite execute. To be selfless in this scenario. There's no point getting a runner ball, pretty 20. Need someone to come in who can go at 2 a ball, can find boundaries and put pressure back on the bowling side, which kind of lends itself to the point I was making earlier about Bryony. Just 10, 12 overs at a runner ball. If you're not taking wickets at one end, the wicket column doesn't go up so fast. And then you've got that platform to go really hard in the final 6-7 overs. We find ourselves with just 4.4 overs left now as Alice Monaghan comes out to bat. 66 on her back.
Yeah, they like her. Sorry, they picked her up from the Vipers over the winter. I never, can you say pick them up from the Vipers because the Vipers don't exist anymore? I never know what the correct terminology is given the way that the shape of cricket. She played for the Vipers last year, I can say that. Now she plays for Surrey. They really like her. She's batted at the top of the order, she's batted in the middle order. She can score runs quickly. Surrey needed to do so today. 4 balls left of Sarah Glenn's work with the ball. Over number 16. Short one pulled away. Good connection, but straight to Catherine Bryce, who does the fielding out there. So just a single. Monaghan off the mark immediately.
I mean, this is critical of Monaghan because it was the first ball, but the best players will find that pocket for 4 there between mid-wicket and long on.
Comes down the ground, plugs it in the air, straight to Marie Kelly, who takes a simple catch at mid-off. 2 wickets in the over, and Chatley, at the 4th time of asking, has been caught by the Blaze. She's gone for 19 from 17. Double wicket over from Sarah Glenn, which has caused a bit of a stutter for Surrey. They're 5 down, 98 for 5.
Yeah, a bit odd from Chatley, that one. Didn't look like a shot that was in her repertoire. I think she was the one that needed to knock it around, and every batter coming in needed to play that aggressive cameo. Not what Surrey needed, a double wicket over.
And the field was almost set for that shot. on the offside. Marie Kelly was there. You could see Georgia Elwis only 10 yards to her left. There's a couple of fielders as well at backward point and sort of almost an orthodox point. So that's where they're looking for the batters to hit it, and she's fallen right into that trap. Chatley, there's big gaps on the leg side. Work to do from Surrey here. Phoebe Franklin is going to be the one that's going to have a go at doing it. She's wandering out into the middle.
Well, the other thing is those two straight fielders you described before, the mid-off and the very straight extra cover, it creates that gap between point and extra cover. And because Sarah Glenn bowls so straight, it's saying to the Surrey batters, well, give yourself a bit of room, but the stumps are always in play. So Chatley's had to correct her shot there and hit it straighter, and guess what? There's two fielders there. So that game of cat and mouse is certainly being won by the Blaze at the moment. 3
for 19, Glenn. 2 balls left of her spell. That one is bunted into the leg side by Franklin. They'll think about 2. Joel mix up here. Josie Groves throws it to the wicketkeeper, and it's a simple task for Sarah Bryce to whip those bails off. Alice Monaghan a little bit too keen. Phoebe Franklin, in fairness to her, said no straight away, but Monaghan almost kept running, maybe a little bit of overexcitement, and she basically met her partner at the non-strikers end. Josie Groves not in the starting 11, but still playing a role. 3 wickets in the over now for the Blaze.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I think if they both go, it's tight for 2. If the throw's really good, then they're in trouble. But any slight indecision, and that was more than a slight indecision, you're in trouble, aren't you?
Well, I say it's almost not indecision. It's just they both made independent decisions, and they weren't the same one.
Yeah.
But yeah, this over just completely changing momentum of the game. Well, the last couple of overs really, they were 9 for 3 after 13.4, and here we are. 15.5 overs gone, 99 for 6. And I tell you what, they might not be thinking about it just yet, but the gap between these two sides, as it stands, coming in to this game, just a couple of games left as well in the group stages. The gap's 6 points, 4 points for a win. The bonus point, unlike in the men's blast, is available if you better the opposition's run rate by 1.25. So you've got to win it in 15 overs, am my maths right?
Yes. Which
at the moment might just be doable. Glenn in to finish off her spell. Clea Moore is the new batter. She survives that one. End of the 16th here at Trent Bridge. It's not going Surrey's way, having won the toss and elected to bowl. They're 99 for 6, and Sarah Glenn is through her work for the day. With the ball, she'll be hoping she's through her work. Full stop. 3 for 20 from 4 overs.
Yeah, really good return from the England international. So yeah, if it's a modest score from Surrey, which it's looking that way, it's obviously much easier. It's much easier to chase it in quick time, and that creates the opportunity for the bonus point.
A little bit of history between these two sides as well. Blaze going down there and winning earlier in the summer, but I'm thinking back to finals day last year as well. They were the top 2 in the group stages, weren't they, in the Charlotte Edwards Cup. Blaze coming out on top in the final.
Catherine Bryce then from the Stuart Broad end, shuffle across the wicket there from Phoebe Franklin. She's going to get that through backward square leg for 4 runs, so good bit of dynamism there from Phoebe Franklin, putting that run out episode out of her mind. Task in hand now, get as many runs as possible for Surrey. Take Surrey past 100 now, 103 for 6.
Yeah, these two at the crease, Franklin and Moore, both with decent strike rates. You don't often get big opportunities to bat for a long period of time, particularly in a side as strong as Surrey's down the order, but they both strike at around 130.
Franklin hits this one hard through extra cover, which is vacant. They've gone with a regulation cover and a big gap through extra cover. Josie Groves is on the boundary edge there to mop up.
What they need is probably 10 and over minimum from here.
To Kelly and Moore. He's going to face up to Catherine Bryce now, just taking guard. Tapping her back a couple of times. Sarah Bryce just getting the angle of the field right for more, with that straight extra cover deployed again. Into the leg side though. Just be the one more gets her score ticking.
Be interesting to see what Kirsty Gordon does at the back end here. She's still got an over left herself, which you'd imagine she would bowl. It's whether she goes back to the new ball bowlers, McCarthy and Ballinger.
Shuffle again by Franklin. She gets this in front of square this time. Heather Graham will cut the ball off, but she won't prevent two. Well run by the Surrey pair there.
Catherine Bryce will still have an over left after this. Heather Graham's got two left. I'd almost be tempted to go for your pace-off bowlers and make these batters a little bit middle order, lower order. Make them force it. Make them find the power rather than use the pace.
Shuffle across. It's hammered it hard. Oh, it's gone over her. I thought she was setting herself for an easy catch there, and then the ball just continued to travel, and it sailed all the way over Heather Graham and just bounced inside the rope. So 4 runs to Surrey, 4 more runs to Phoebe Franklin. 1-1-1 for 6. Franklin on to 12.
Yeah, huge boundary out there, and she is going to try and force it. Heather Graham there, no fault from her, because I think she has been told to start 5 yards in from the boundary.
Franklin shuffles again, gets plenty of this. It's going to bounce just in front of deep square leg. So it's just a single this time as it sits up nicely for Cassidy McCarthy. So Phoebe Franklin's not afraid to shuffle around the crease, is she? Doing a bit of dancing. So 1-1-2 for 6 after 17, 3 to play. How many more can Surrey eke out? How many can Blaze minimise the Surrey women too? I completely agree. Pace off is the way that I would go as well, Sam. I'm going to see pace off as well because, well, I say pace off. It's that medium pace bowling, isn't it? Variation bowler of Heather Graham, who's going to bowl from the Radcliffe Road end.
It's who I'd have been tempted to go to. 3 overs left. Graham's still got 2 of them. Catherine Bryce has got 1. Kirsty Gordon's got 1 herself.
We haven't seen Georgia Elwes either, have we? She can turn the arm over and bowl cutters and tweakers.
Here's Graham in, and Franklin is trying to slog sweep. She doesn't quite get hold of it. 1 bounce out to Michaela Kirk. I think the fielders at deep square leg and deep mid wicket for these last couple of overs are going to be very much in the game. They're big boundaries, but there's also a lot of space out there. If they can find a gap, put it wide of a fielder. More on strikes. He's got 1. Hits it down the ground. Going to fall short of Josie Groves, who's still on as a sub-fielder at long on.
Have we worked out who's off yet? Did we work that one out?
I mean, look, maybe she's actually in the side. Chipped over Marie Kelly. 1 bounce 4. I thought for a second it might be straight to her, but Phoebe Franklin, her little cameo is getting even better. 18 from 8 balls. She's got 118 for 6. No, she is 12th. It's just, I was just having a look on the scorecard and they've put all the names down, and actually they've included Josie Groves, who's number 12. I didn't think she was playing. Half a shout for LBW, and it is given. Heather Graham, just based on her reaction, I wasn't sure she was so interested, but maybe she's still ticking, having conceded a few runs a little bit earlier in the over. Anyway, Phoebe Franklin's cameo has come to an end. 18 from 9 balls. It was useful. Strike rate of 200. Surrey could have done with it lasting a little bit longer. The Blaze, though, will be delighted as Surrey are 118 for 7.
Yeah, she's fallen to a strength there of shuffling across the crease, but had to take risks. I think Michaela Kirk's off the field.
Okay.
I'm just trying to recce against the team sheet. And so difficult with the gold. I love the gold trim on the Blaze kit, especially the training kit, but it's just a bit difficult to see at this height Got a fantastic view, we can't complain. A fantastic view here from the Radcliffe Road end. But it's really hard to make out the numbers, and the players catch you out because one day they wear a bun and the next day they wear a long ponytail. I think it's Michaela Kirk who's off, so I hope she's okay.
Who's at deep square leg currently then?
Oh, that looks like Michaela Kirk as well, but she's just done me because she didn't come in for the drink, so might be back to the
Is
drawing.
Kirsty Gordon out there? I'm not sure she is, you know. Heather Graham is in. New batter is Rihanna McDonald-Gay, England international. Bumped it down to Josie Groves at long on.
You're right, it is Kirsty Gordon. I can't see her anywhere.
Kelly Elwis, Glenn McCarthy on the offside. Who's at short third? Oh, Boulder, second wicket in the over. Heather Graham hits the top of off stump. Kalia Moore was looking to pull that one into the leg side, just clips the top of off stump. Surrey in real trouble here. It's been quite the collapse from them. Not gone the way they would have hoped at all. They're 8 down, 118 for 8.
Yeah, it's disintegration from the Surrey women, but credit to the Blaze. They've bowled really tight lines, haven't they? They've really minimised the boundaries, which meant Surrey women have had to hit out at times and not always played the right calculations when it comes to the shot selection. Bit of an ugly hook line. So Alexa Stonehouse will be the new batter.
If it is Kirsty Gordon, I hope she's all right, because she missed a little part of the winter, didn't she? She was that England Lions game. They were about to, or England A as they are, were about to play Australia in a red ball game. She felt a little bit of pain in her back, not too much, just a bit of discomfort, and she went for a precautionary scan and ended up missing 6 or 7 weeks with a back injury.
Pace back on, Cassidy McCarthy, and it's hit hard out to long on. It'll bounce short of the field to Michaela Kirk, just a single. So Alexa Stonehouse will take guard for the first time. She's got 12 on her back.
Much better for the commentator, isn't it? That light blue, sky blue and black numbers, ideal.
Hit hard and aerial. Kirk will be running in. 2 fielders converge here. Heather Graham's going to win the race on that one. And the Surrey women will get back for 2 in their race too.
She's a brilliant fielder, Heather Graham. I think she's just sharing a laugh with Michaela Kirk, though, who maybe didn't quite pick it up, because Graham has made quite a considerable distance to get there first.
You always want 2 fielders chasing everything, don't you? That's a sign of a good team that hunt in pairs. Oh, furniture removed from Cassidy McCarthy. Alexa Stonehouse's stay is a short one. Bowled for 2 in 2 minutes and 2 balls. She'll trot off to get ready to bowl. And that was clinical bowling from McCarthy. It's 122 for 9 now, the Surrey women. It's whimpering to the end here from a Surrey point of view.
I blame you, James. They hadn't lost a wicket until you turned up.
Very true.
At 91 for 2 they were, with 2 balls left in the 14th over. At that point, this game was probably in the balance. We were set up for what could have been a thriller. The Blaze have been exceptional since then.
Gregory is the final bat. Leg spinner. She's got 19 on her back. And that long plait running down her back, which is pretty iconic, isn't it? McCarthy then, couple of skips. Oh, bit of a variation there, wide cutter. Was that the back of the hand?
Looked like it, didn't it?
Yeah. Anyway, Gregory can't lay bat on it, so it's a dot ball. 2 to go in the 19th. Full and straight this time and dug out by Gregory. McDonald Gray with a loud call of yes, and they'll squeeze out that single.
Quite rare these days for a number 11 to bat in T20 cricket. Only the second time she's done so, Danny Gregory. In what is her 10th appearance, she's just missed one game so far this tournament. Strike rate of 160 though for a... That's now 9 runs.
McCarthy in again and beats the batter's inside edge but misses leg stump. Good piece of glove work from Sarah Bryce. So that's the end of the 19th. Surrey 1, 2, 3 for 9. And Cassidy McCarthy has finished her allotment. She's bowled 4 overs, 1 for 22. And the important stat is she's bowled 14 dots out of her 24 balls.
Exceptional from her. Exceptional from the Blades. And I think Marie Kelly looks like she's skippering it at the moment with Kirsty Gordon off the pitch, which is perhaps why she is long on. And Grace Ballinger is the bowler she has turned to finish this one off. So often bowls those death overs, Grace Ballinger. A bit of left arm seam. She's going to come around the wicket. Wicket keeper up. Danny Gregory on strike. 1 from 2 balls. Rhiannon McDonald-Gay 2 from 3. Can they eke out a few extra runs? And wouldn't have expected really to be in this position. Either at the start when Bryony Smith said, yes please, we'll have a bat. Or halfway through either. But here they are. Fuller from Ballinger. Can't get it out of the middle, but does pick up a single. I don't think she was looking for short fine leg there, but that's where she's got it, Gregory. So she gets down to the non-strikers then. Probably wants McDonald-Gay to have most of these last 5 balls. Ballinger, the one Blaze bowler to have not yet picked up a wicket as Cassidy McCarthy gets called in from deep extra cover and Marie Kelly goes down to long off. And that ball is hit towards her. They're going to come back for a couple. McDonald-Gay didn't get anything at all on it really. The irony being, or is it, I never know if it is irony. Anyway, the point being that had Marie Kelly said exactly where she was, that would have been a simple catch. Then would Rhiannon McDonald-Gay have played that shot? Who knows? Anyway, 126 for 9. 4 balls left. Still a long on and a long off. Bowled into the pitch. Pulled away. Just 1 to Catherine Bryce. They're going to try and come back for 2. Mix up. She's gone to the wrong end. She's gone to her sister Sarah, which is the natural end to go. Not great communication between the 2 batters, but they get away with it and they come back for 2. 128 for 9. 3 balls left. Fuller hits straight down the ground. They'll try and come back for 2 again.
It's really well
good bit of running.
Really well run. But there's clearly a bit more chemistry and telepathy between these 2. They've hit it hard and they were always running 2. And that's the difference.
They had that little bit of extra time because they knew Marie Kelly was basically going to have to run round the ball in order to pick it up with her right hand and get it in. That's well bowled from Ballinger. She's been inviting them to hit it straight down the ground the last couple of deliveries. That one swings it in towards McDonald-Gay, who can't get it away on the leg side. So a dot ball. Final ball of the innings, 130 for 9, Surrey.
Ballinger's got no number on her back today, but we can't deny it's her with that idiosyncratic run-up and action.
It's hit down the ground, long on. It's in the game on. It's put down by Josie Groves. And they're going to come back for a couple. Good running from Danny Gregory, who just sticks her head down and runs in that situation. So they're going to finish on 132 for 9. It really ought to have been 130 all out. Grace Ballinger really ought to have made it a complete set of Blaze bowlers to have picked up wickets. There'll be an apology from Josie Groves, I am sure, with her great mate Grace Ballinger. It's been brilliant from the Blaze, but they dropped 5 catches as well. But 132, they'd have taken that, I think, at the start. Sarah Glenn standout, 3 for 20 from her 4. A couple of wickets for Heather Graham, one each from Bryce Gordon and McCarthy. Kirsty Gordon not on the pitch at the end, so a slight worry there. Also a run out which Josie Groves, the subfielder, was involved in. Alice Davidson-Richards started the innings really well. 27 she batting at 4, 19 from Chatley, 18 from the skipper Bryony Smith. So the top 4 all got starts. Only Phoebe Franklin with 18 from 9 balls made another contribution. 132 for 933 to win, James. Blaze favourites?
Yeah, very much so. I think par on here all year has been kind of 175 from a T20 game. When we've been at Loughborough, it's been more of a 190, 200 par score, just because how quick it runs away, then how good the surface is. Similarly at Chesterfield, 180 was proved too much for Hampshire, but you always felt at the beginning of the day, well, you'd be hoping for a score that with a 2 at the start of it, or a very, very high 180, 190 score. I think the other observation with the Blaze, it was a tale of 2 halves, that innings. The first 10 overs was pretty steady, like you say, 60 for 2 off the first 10, and a good platform for Surrey to go hard in that final 10. But what the Blaze did really, really well is they minimised boundaries. 11 boundaries from 120 balls. Less than 10% of the balls are going for boundaries. And the pick of the bowlers, Cassidy McCarthy, bowling 14 dots as a seamer out of a 24 ball allotment, is an incredible return. The Blaze kept the stumps in play. They created indecision with the Surrey women, with the run-outs, with some of the shot selections going across straight balls and getting bowled. Lots of top edges and catches in the deep when the field was set well. So fair play to the Blaze. They've put the pressure on Surrey, and Surrey have kind of succumbed to the heat of the Blaze, really, and the heat of today. So we'll be back shortly to see that run chase. But for now, we're going to leave you with a little bit of a break. Welcome back, everyone. Umpires have made it to the middle, and out of sync, the Blaze batters are in the middle before the fielders, as the Surrey women are having a huddle just off pitch. Social media lady is getting an aerial shot of that huddle.
Is she very tall?
Not really, no. But she's got long arms.
Are we calling them the Manchester City of cricket workers? Didn't they get fined? Because you have to kick off for the second half at a very specific time, and I think Man City basically ignored that and kept getting fines for delaying the restart. So we said that what we're saying Surrey are doing here. They're just trying to eke out a psychological advantage, a little bit of extra time out there under the helmet in the heat for Marie Kelly and Georgia Elwes. And maybe you didn't say that at all. Maybe I read too much into it.
Well, I just think Bryony Smith was having a very stern word with the team that they can't put a foot wrong in this innings if they want to get out of it with 4 or 5 points. But my point was more, the fielders should go on after the umpires, then the batters. Well, that's what I was taught anyway.
Is that a thing? Is it written anywhere, or is that just one of these... We're not getting into the moral rules of cricket, are we? That's not a debate for a 32-degree day.
Well, it's not a moral thing, it's just tidiness, isn't it? But nothing wrong with bucking the trend.
One of these sides is going to buck the trend because one of them is going to lose, you'd imagine, unless we get a tie. Both have only lost a single game so far this year. Surrey have only lost to the Blaze down the Oval. The Blaze looking to make it 2 from 2 against them. It looks to me we're going to see a little bit of Alice Monaghan with the new ball. Marie Kelly's going to take strike. 133 required for victory. Oh, and that is it's definitely a loosener. It's a full toss. It's a no ball. It just hasn't come out right there. It's gone all the way through to Kira Chatley behind the stumps without bouncing. Maybe the heat, a bit of extra moisture on the hands. Anyway, it went wrong. It's going to be a free hit for Marie Kelly. First run is on the board, even though we haven't had a legal delivery yet. 2 fielders out are at deep square leg and deep backward point for Marie Kelly. Hits that one straight to mid-off, where Grace Harris does the fielding. She's hanging back on the edge of the 25-yard ring. Marie Kelly not running. The only way you can be dismissed is via a run-out, so not taking on the quick single there. No need for the Blaze to take any risks, really, here, James. It'd be interesting to see how they play this, because what is effectively, 6.6 and over in T20 seems relatively simple. If they better Surrey's run rate by 1.25, they'll get a bonus point win. That'll be a wide. Looking for the Yorker wrapping, not quite getting it right yet, Monaghan.
Yeah, no real shape either through the air. Looks like she's, like you say, trying to bowl very full. Perhaps looking at her action like she wants to shape the ball away. But those two have gone straight on so far.
Another full ball. I think it's going to be a no ball again. This time Marie Kelly pulls it away. It was on her hips. She swiveled. She pivoted. She hit it behind square for 4.
Yeah, you'd love this as a batter, wouldn't you? A couple of free hits in your first over.
Well, I'm not sure if it's been given as a no ball. It looked to me like the umpire at square leg had his hand out as if to say that's a no ball. But I'm not sure if Gabby Brown's...
No, I think she's been warned off.
Sorry,
she's
yes.
been taken off. So
of course.
Gabby Brown signal no ball. Square leg confirmed that. I've watched the replay. It was in line with like the orange half of Marie Kelly, and she's got a shirt tucked inside of her pants, so it's very clearly you could see white ball on orange background, so it was above the waist, and she's been warned off. So ADR's going to have to bowl.
She's going to have to bowl 5 deliveries. We've had just one legitimate ball so far. Surrey needed the perfect start. What they've got is far from that. Alice Monaghan, I hope she's okay. I mean, that not easy for her, that. I hope she can recover from that one. Alice Davison Richards into the attack. Kelly looking to go leg side with that free hit. Picks up a leg bye. I don't think... I know I have seen that. No, I don't think I've seen that actually live. I saw Paul Walter. Was he warned in a men's game for Essex? Maybe he did come off actually after a couple. Anyway. Plays 8 without loss. Just 2 balls. And this innings gone. Elwes to face her first ball. Signs are...
I won't dig out the bowler, but in a previous role of mine, when I worked up for the Northern Diamonds, I went to the toilet after the first over where our bowler bowled a beamer. And when I came back, she bowled another beamer. Even though I'd missed it.
Runs that one down. It's a third for just a single. Elwes is off the mark. Well, first and foremost, you should have been using the interval to go for the loo, not the first over.
Well, and the other bit to it was, I said to one of our coaching staff, why is she not bowling? I went, she bowled a beamer. Yeah, I know, I saw that. I went, no, she bowled another one.
It just didn't come out right for Monaghan today. She'll have better days. Short ball and a wide ball. Marie Kelly thought for a second, because it sat up nicely, tennis ball bounce, it was that short. She thought, I might try and hit that past a couple of fielders in at cover, but in the end she went, no, it's so wide, I'm just going to leave it alone and take that extra delivery. 11 without loss to Blaze.
Davidson Richards just wiping her hands on the grass as well, like Monaghan did, and just not happy with the grip of the ball in the hand at the moment.
Better delivery, driven in the air. Oh, I thought it was a stunner, but it's been put down. It would have been an absolutely superb catch. I think it's Rhiannon McDonald-Gay in there. Just took a step to her right. Yeah, it is. Stuck her hand out. Marie Kelly was probably about to walk off, but as she's hit the ground, the ball's hit the ground, a lifeline.
Well, we saw that perfectly, didn't we? The angle we're on, it was in her hands all the way, as you say, just bounces out when those elbows hit the turf.
Swing and a miss. We're still in the first over. 11 without loss, 6 extras already, couple of beamers. If you're just joining us slightly late, if you're slightly late back from your tea break during the interval, Alice Monaghan started the innings with 2 beamers in 3 balls and had to come out of the attack. So Alice Davidson Richards is picking up the mantle. Picking up? Picked up. Driven, and that is brilliant again from Rhiannon McDonald-Gay at cover. Not easy that, because she was moving to her left. It was flying across a couple of strips there. Nice shot from Marie Kelly, but she hasn't got a run. But was it another no ball? Overstepping. You don't get the feeling. It isn't going Surrey's way. It's more than that. Everything that is going wrong right now could be. We've had wides, we've had no balls for height, we've had overstepping no balls. This is the 3rd free hit of this first over. Can't get it away, Kelly. Monaghan does the fielding at mid-order. Finally, much to Bryony Smith, much to Alice Davidson Richards, much to Alice Monaghan's relief. We are through the first over. 12 without loss to Blaze.
What a weird and wonderful over that was.
Was it 11 or 12 balls did we have?
I will refer to the scorecard.
I think we had 3 wides, didn't we? And 3 no balls.
11 balls.
Was it?
Yeah. My only one bit of...
2 wides, okay, sorry.
My one bit of constructive...
No, 12.
Oh, I'm seeing...
12 balls. It hasn't updated for the end of the over yet.
Right. I beg your pardon. Yeah, my one little bit of constructive observation would be the three free hits after the no balls, not the one that Marie Kelly hit for 4. I'll come back to that in a second. As we have a gorgeous cover drive from Georgia Elwys off the first ball of Alexa Stonehouse's over. Quintessential Georgia Elwys, that stroke, wasn't it?
She's a lovely player to watch.
Yeah, I thought Marie Kelly, with the prescribed free hits, could have come at the bowler and just tried to hit straight in the V, because you can't be stumped off a no ball either. Rather than trying to force it, just shuffle down and hit straight. Leading edge from Georgia Elwys this time. Squirms into backward point region, but it drops short of the fielder. But there was still 12 off it anyway, so...
Only 5 off the bat.
On the legs this time is Stonehouse, and Elwys will turn this one round the corner. Fielders converging, but they'll come back for the second quite comfortably.
And Surrey will be sick of the sight of these two. They had a 92-run opening partnership in the Blazers' victory down at the Oval. Just 9.3 overs that took. I'm pretty sure that it was a run out. Marie Kelly was run out. It wasn't a great call from Georgia Elwys. She was burnt there a little bit.
Elwys on strike now. Into the leg side for a single. That brings Marie Kelly back on strike. She's 4 from her 8 deliveries. Cuts this one away, gets it through the gap. That'll run away. It's like glass, the outfield here at Trent Bridge. 4 more to the Blaze, 4 more to Marie Kelly. 23 without loss.
Yeah, beautiful shot that. That was all about timing. Timing and placement. Didn't try to overhit it. The ball had the width. She found a gap, and once it's past the fielder, Rani Smith had no chance there.
Conversation here between bowler and, is it Grace Harris giving the advice there at mid-on? I think it is. Stonehouse then, left arm over the wicket, full toss, pumped up the ground from Marie Kelly, couple of bounces, over the ropes for 4 more. So a couple of eventful overs from a Surrey women point of view and a Blaze point of view. Blaze 27 without loss.
Funny game, cricket. Funny game. What was it? 15 off that over the second one, which was only 6 balls. 12 off the first over, which was 12 balls. There's a lot happening here at Trent Bridge. Much of it that will bring smiles to the faces of home supporters, because the Blaze are on top. They've made a brilliant start, and just remember, there's a bonus point available in the Women's Vitality Blast if you score your runs quickly, effectively. I've read this previously. I can't remember if it's 15 or 16 overs.
It's 16 overs. It's 16 overs, but it all depends what you score. If it goes tight to that 16 over mark, it depends what you score off that last ball. Sometimes you can do it in 16.1 overs, if that makes sense. If you hit it for 6.
If you only need 1 and you hit a 6, right. Okay, change of bowling. Clear more. Bit of off-spin in the power play into the 3rd over of the innings. At the moment, 27 without loss after 2. We won't still be here after 16 overs, so we won't have to worry about it. A lot can change, though, as we saw in the Surrey innings. They were going along nicely. Single to Elwys there. She moves on to 9 from 6. Kelly's got 12 from 10. And they were cruising along, Surrey, really.
It's a roll of the dice, this as well, isn't it? Spin in the power play on such a good surface. But spin did the trick, pace off in the Surrey innings.
Almost a Yorker there. Grace Harris doing the fielding at mid-on. Need something special here. Sorry, they're capable of it. It's gone up in the air. Use of the feet from Marie Kelly. Rihanna McDonald-Gay's underneath it. She almost took a stunner to dismiss Kelly a little bit earlier on. She dropped her on 4. She made no mistake when she was on a dozen. Surrey have their first wicket. Have they just opened a little crack? Have they pushed their way back into this game? We will find out soon. Kelly has to go. The Blaze are 28 for 1.
Yeah, frustrating dismissal from Marie Kelly. Just a dozen scored before she departs. Very prescriptive, that shot. Very, very premeditated down the track. And in the end, it was quite a short ball. She was never going to get to the pitch of it and just threw her hands at it and it went straight up. Whereas the bowlers had to go full. And I just thought if they could have shuffled towards the ball and just hit hard shots up the ground, you beat the infield. It's a very, well, there's no risk, is there, other than a run out. So it just makes Marie Kelly's score look a bit shy of the cameo, really. But she's such an exciting player. It's disappointing when you see exciting players go too early. Similar when Grace Harris got out, to be honest.
New batter is Catherine Bryce. Looks to go leg side. Clearmore followed her. A good bit of bowling. Can't get that one away. It's a strong batting lineup. 2 strong sides, as you'd expect from the teams. Top of the table, both missing a handful of England internationals as well. Nice shot from Bryce. Just goes to the left of Grace Harris, who's very good there at mid-off. But it was the fact she had to move a yard or so and come around the ball which encouraged Catherine Bryce to take the single, which she did. It was comfortable. She's off the mark. Last ball of the third. It's been a better over. Just 2 off it and the wicket of Marie Kelly. Can't get it past Rihanna McDonald-Gay, who I was about to say is an absolute gun fielder. She then sold me out a little bit with that throw. Not as badly as she sold Kira Chatley out behind the stumps, but there was being backed up, so it hasn't cost anything. 2 off the over, 29 for 1. Marie Kelly is gone. The Blaze need 104 runs from 102 balls if they are to claim the win today.
Yeah, good over from Calliomoore there. 4 dots in it. I think Surrey have just got to compartmentalise this innings now and just go in little blocks, try and build pressure, try and dot it up, minimise boundaries and see how many they can take with them. We saw the Surrey innings capitulate because of pressure brought on by spin and medium pace bowling, wicket to wicket, keeper stood up. Can Surrey create some of that pressure themselves? It's certainly first blood to Blaze though in this run chase. Got a change of bowling. McDonald-Gay is coming on from Stuart Broadend, and Catherine Bryce faces up for the first ball and pats it back for no run.
What's your mindset if you're in the Blaze batting right now? Is it just to bat, just to play normally, forget about that bonus point and see where you're at after 10 overs?
I think so, because the pitch is so good, the ball's not swinging, and there's so much value for runs. As McDonald-Gay bangs this one in, pulled away by Catherine Bryce, but she can't get it through mid-wicket. Phoebe Franklin doing the fielding. Yeah, I just think it's unfair to say there's a bad ball every over, but there's that little margin for error that you can lean on one, like we saw from George Elwes, that goes away for 4. You miss your length slightly, you cut it away and it's 4. Tickle it off your pads and there's another single or 2. As Bryce runs this one into the vacant cover point region for a single. Yeah, there's no real need to force anything. And that's not being conservative either. I think you can still go to run a ball without forcing anything. Perhaps see where you are at 10 overs and then think about trying to get the bonus point. George Elwes on strike then. She's 9 from her 7. She's pushed back in a crease by McDonald-Gray, who hits the pitch hard and then hits the maker's name hard as well.
She's an exciting young cricketer, isn't she?
Yeah, very robust bowler, running in from the edge of the circle. Gets it to zip off the surface as well as she's in now. Oh, little feather, I think, from Georgia Elwes, but it just died on the keeper. Was there a nick there?
My initial instinct was yes, but it might have been that it shaped back into her. Just getting a look here.
Maybe it was just a good play and miss. Either way, it's a dot in the book. Donald Gray once again. Elwes angle in the back there, but goes straight into the hands of Danielle Gregory at that short third position. So a dot to finish up there. Blaze 30 for 1 as the music blasts out here at Trent Bridge. Part of a double header, of course.
Yeah, Durham, top of the North Group in the men's competition, heading down. It's tight, that North Group, as well this year. Lancashire losing midweek. Just down the road, we saw Worcestershire somehow win at Derbyshire last night, having been 10 for 4. So that's very tight. Change of bowling on the Radcliffe Road end. Alexa Stonehouse back into the attack. Her first over from the Stuart Broad end was a costly one. 15 off the bat. And will a switch of ends help her at all? 2 overs left in the power play. Catherine Bryce cuts that one away. They'll come through for a relatively comfortable single in the end, but it was a great bit of work at backward point there by Kalia Moore. Put in the dive, did the fielding, and had the wherewithal to get up and throw the ball to the non-striker's end. Deep square leg and deep cover of the 2 fielders outside the ring. Short ball pulled, and it bounced just in front of Phoebe Franklin at mid-wicket. She turned away. Those are the sometimes nasty ones. She did really well to get her body in the way of the ball. They come through for a single. Looks like she's all right.
She's put her body on the line a couple of times now, Phoebe Franklin. Sorry, you're going to have to be incredibly tight in that circle.
Oh, she just loses the ball there. There's definitely signs that they're struggling to grip this ball. And we saw Alice Monaghan with those couple of beamers removed from the attack. It's hot out there, you're going to be sweating a bit. New ball, lacquer on it.
Yeah, and the white kookaburras, they are a hard, shiny, smooth surface with not much of a seam anyway, so you can imagine that it's very slippy on the hand.
Well bowled. McDonald Gay swoops at cover.
You ever play club cricket with a white kookaburra ball?
No.
Or a white ball in general?
No. Never played a game with a white ball, no. Just used to get them out in the nets, and you always felt like you were a yard quicker if you were a bowler with the white ball. I don't know what it was about it. Flicked away off the legs. Nice shot from Catherine Bryce. It's gone behind square. Alice Monaghan is going to do the fielding. She gets round pretty quickly, and it's a cracking throw right over the top of the stumps, but it's also a good bit of running. Bryce is back for a couple.
Just gone a bit flat from the Surrey women in the field. Trent Bridge is very quiet as well.
Fuller gets it past the infield, gets it past Grace Harris as well. All about placement, that from Catherine Bryce. Anna McDonald Gay fought for a split second. She was in the money. It went past her right hand. It went past Grace Harris's left hand. And it takes Catherine Bryce on to 9, 38 for 1.
That is, not only is it the perfect shot for that ball from Catherine Bryce, it's the attrition of it. So it's made 3 fielders field that ball. The 2 in the circle who dive in vain, and then the fielder at extra cover has to run and chase the ball.
Short ball pulled. She hasn't got hold of it, but it has just plonked over Phoebe Franklin. Heart in mouth stuff for a split second there for Catherine Bryce. It was looking to hit that long. She ends up with a single. End of the 5th over. Catherine Bryce has 10. Georgia Elwes has 10. The Blaze have 39 from 1. They need 94 from 90.
So even though the equation is pretty friendly at this stage, a couple of overs going at 2s and 3s and dots, and you add a wicket to it, and all of a sudden it's 90 off 84 or it's 88 off 78, and just creates a bit of pressure. I think that's what Surrey have got to do, is just work in little blocks, try and get that equation. As Rihanna McDonald-Gay is going to bowl a second over from the Stuart Broadend. A little advance from Catherine Bryce, but she doesn't get the ball away. McDonald-Gay fields off her own bowling.
I remember talking to her a couple of years ago. I think she had that standout, was it break for a year 21 or 22? She got a wild card pick for the Oval Invincibles. She also played for an England Select 11 up at Durham. I think it was against India.
Cover drive from Catherine Bryce, well fielded, there'll be no run.
And she took a hat-trick but had no idea, because it was one of those that straddled a couple of overs. And it wasn't until her mum gave her a call that evening. She said, "Oh, wow, you took a hat-trick." And she said, "Oh, no, I didn't, Mum. What are you talking about?" No one at all had clocked it.
Really?
So I wouldn't call it wasn't an accidental hat-trick, was it? It was very deliberate, but for no one to react.
Ball in hand now. Straight and on the pads of Catherine Bryce. A misfield by Phoebe Franklin as that ball was punched into mid-wicket, and it's cost them 2 runs. So nothing going right for Surrey here, is there?
It's been a strange day in the field, isn't it? There's been some brilliant fielding, but we've also seen a lot of drop catches and a lot of untidy fielding.
Umpire unmoved there, Neil Pratt. As McDonald-Gay hits Catherine Bryce low on the pads or even on the bridge of the foot there. There's not much shape in the air. Looked like it was perhaps a little bit leg side. In fact, very leg side looking at it with the beauty of technology.
Yeah, wicketkeeper Kira Chatley. I always look at the keeper in those situations. A, she was a couple of yards to her left, and she didn't enjoy joining into the appeal until quite late.
Great shot from Catherine Bryce for no run that time. Trent Bridge looks a picture, doesn't it? Just looking at some shots there aerially of the ground, the stripes in the grass.
Good crowd in as well, in early. I was going to say enjoying the sunshine, but most of them being pretty sensible and hiding in the shade.
Yeah, that's where I would be as well. As Rihanna McDonald-Gay is in once again, and on the money again as Catherine Bryce has to stand tall and just punch it up the ground for no run. So that's the end of the power play. 41 for 1. How does that compare? 39 without loss, if I remember rightly.
I think that's right, yeah. So very similar is the answer to that question. Very similar indeed. It's what happened thereafter, though, which has meant this game is very much the Blazes to lose, you would think. Phoebe Franklin is going to replace Alexa Stonehouse by the looks of it from the Radcliffe Road end. A bit of right arm medium pace for her.
Just the 1 over of spin so far, which I'm not surprised of because of the power play, but you will want to give Callia Moore and Danielle Gregory as many runs to play with as possible, wouldn't you, to try and build some pressure.
At the moment it's 92 runs they've got to play with. 83 balls left after that dot. Ronnie Smith herself was in the wickets with her off spin down at Edgbaston a couple of nights ago.
This isn't a bad change either, though. It's very similar to what Georgia Elwes bowls, what Heather Graham bowls, what Catherine Bryce bowls. Wicket to wicket, medium pace.
Should just be one.
Got to force it, haven't you, to try and find the boundary.
difficulty they've got, Surrey, is that the Blaze don't really need boundaries, not regularly anyway.
No, they can just eke out the singles, can't they? But if they want that power play, they're going to have to go at a slightly quicker rate than what they're currently going at.
Another one. Just a couple of runs from the opening free balls of Phoebe Franklin's spell, and that's Davidson Richards down below us at long on. Very good from Franklin so far. We saw people like Cassidy McCarthy and Heather Graham bowling it. Just wicket to wicket. Don't give any width. Make the batters force it. Surrey found that difficult.
Well, we waxed lyrical about Cassidy McCarthy bowling 14 dots in 4 overs. McDonald Gay has bowled 10 dots in 2 overs.
Change in the field. Point comes in. Take a single to Bryony Smith, who shies at the stumps. Direct hit, but I think Catherine Bryce was home relatively comfortably there, but just forcing the Blaze to take a slight risk there. 3 runs from the 5 balls Franklin has bowled so far. Yeah, just the 3 runs from the 2 overs McDonald Gay has bowled so far. The issue Surrey have got, well, one of many issues, is that even they can build a bit of pressure for a while, but a couple of quick boundaries then just brings Blaze right back into it as favourites. It's going to have to be 5 or 6 overs of pressure on wickets. Wickets is what they need. Pace off. Outside edge. Another single. Alexa Stonehouse does the fielding, so another good over. Just the 4 off it. 45 for 1, 7 gone. The Blaze, they need 88 from 78.
Yeah, Blaze very much in control. Surrey trying to just claw it back. Good option, Phoebe Franklin. And I mentioned it wouldn't be far before we saw Danielle Gregory. She's going to bowl from the Stuart Broad end. Pulling her leg spin. She'll need to settle into this over pretty quickly. She's got a deep cover point, a long gone, a deep mid wicket and a deep square leg, all on the ropes. She's in, and this one's just chipped to a vacant short mid on. Cut off by long gone, just be the single to Catherine Bryce.
Such a distinctive action, isn't it, Danny Gregory? That head goes down, arm comes over. Wickets is what she needs.
Oh, it's just taking a moment, checking the field out. 5 in the circle. The gaps to be had. Drag down this one. It's pulled. She's got too much elevation on this, and it's well held at deep mid wicket. Elwes holding out. So a bit of a scamp there for the Surrey women, and Danielle Gregory strikes in her first over, exactly what the Surrey women needed. The Blaze slipped to 46 for 2 after 7.2 overs.
Yeah, I think it's Alice Monaghan out there taking the catch. Yeah, it is. Good catch. I'm not sure the ball was quite short enough to play that shot. It skidded on. She was having to try and lean back, as you were just showing, James, to play that shot, as we see the umbrella of shade comes out for the batters. You don't see that very often in this country. A drink for Catherine Bryce. It's like Wimbledon, spelled under the umbrella. Sarah Bryce wanders out to join her sister.
Had limited opportunity, Sarah Bryce, with the bat. She's been up and down the order when England players have been available. Such is the strength of the Blaze squad. She struggled for a bit of form, or she's got in and got out in the 20s. So this is a perfect little scenario for the younger of the Bryce sisters. 87 required from 76. She'd be happy with a nice run a ball 40 here, wouldn't she? As we head into the end of this Vitality Blast women's competition. It's dragged down by Gregory, be pulled to Phoebe Franklin at mid-wicket. There'll be no run. A snigger because the ball seems to follow Phoebe. Very awkward on the edge of those wickets. Gentle appeal, only the bowler really asking the question. Squared Sarah Bryce up there. It looked high to me. Neil Pratt not interested. Brother of the infamous Gary Pratt. Gregory in once again. Cut away this time as it skids onto the bat of Sarah Bryce, and she'll get her first run of the day.
It's only a couple of weekends till finals day, isn't it, actually, down at the Oval for this one. Live on Sky, first ever Women's Vitality Blast finals day.
It's like the 27th, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the 5th day of the men's test at Old Trafford as well. So, and I go on holiday the following day, so I'm hoping I'll be at the Oval. But if not, I might be at Old Trafford.
Where are you flying from?
Manchester, so busy old weekend. Pulled away by Catherine Bryce. Just be the one though. They've got their angles right so far, haven't they, since the end of the power play, with the 4 fielders out. So that is the end of the 8th. The Blaze 48 for 2. Catherine Bryce 16 not out from 20 balls. She's been joined at the crease by her sister Sarah. She's 1 from 3. The run rate required is just a smidge above 7s. So very manageable from a Blaze point of view. But still got to get them.
Signs of life though, a bit of hope for Surrey. We thought initially that 12 ball opening over, Monaghan removed from the attack, you were just thinking, nothing's going their way, they've got no chance here. Second over, went for 15 off the bat, Stonehouse conceding those 3 boundaries, but since then, as Clearmore continues, and Catherine Bryce there is going to pick up a boundary, and it's a much needed one. That's a lovely shot, that is vintage Catherine Bryce. She moves on to 20, the Blaze are past 50, 52 for 2. After 8.1 overs, and I was about to say there's only been 1 boundary since the end of the second over. There has now been 2. It was beautifully timed, both in terms of the shot and the necessity of it. Puts the bowler back under pressure as well. Just 2 runs off her first over, Clearmore. A bit more delicate. And in the end, Stonehouse said, well, she'd slightly misjudged the angle of that, got inside it, had to dive to her left.
I just think Surrey have got the angle of that boundary rider wrong as well there. Deep cover, a deep point. It's negative. It's for a bad ball.
Flicked into the leg side. It was uppish. For a split second, Alice Monaghan might have thought a catch was coming her way in the end. Despairing dive. Couldn't stop it on the ground, but there was cover in the form of Phoebe Franklin out deep mid-wicket. It's just 1. Sarah Bryce just taking a moment to take her guard. 1 from 3 she's got. There's no rush. Fuller, it's almost a hockey shot, gets it behind square. Change in the field as Alice Monaghan trots around from mid-wicket to a backward point, and they have changed the angle of the boundary rider you were talking about, James.
Yeah, it's a better balance to the field now. I know it's a single on the leg side, but they've got to go across that front pad.
Instead, she finds the fielder has just come around to backward point, Alice Monaghan. She's done well. Clearmore just gone for that 1 run since the boundaries off the first ball of the over. Can she close it out? Oh, gets it past backward point, I think now. Set off for 2 here. Decent over from a Blaze perspective there. 7 runs off it, which is exactly the run rate they require. 9 gone, 11 left, 55 for 2, 78 needed off 66.
Yeah, you take the boundary off it and it's a very, very tidy over. But the Blaze greatly accepting the boundary and putting it away, so they'll keep chipping away, knocking these runs off. Danielle Gregory may have other ideas though. She's to continue from the Stuart Broad end. She's on the money first balls. Catherine Bryce just punts that one up to straight mid-wicket for no run. Tap at the bat from Bryce. Down the track this time. Jams it out in the end and hits it straight at mid-off where Grace Harris does the fielding. It is one of those awkward situations. The Blaze are expected to win. Surrey have got nothing to lose. This one stood tall by Catherine Bryce. She will just about get it through for a single. No, you know, the Blaze, Surrey don't want to get hammered, but the Blaze don't want to look daft getting bowled out or even getting it 7 or 8 down. But if I was Surrey, I'd just be going hard at this to try and bowl them out, get as many wickets as you can, create that pressure. As Gregory's trying to do that now, it's just guided through backward point from Sarah Bryce for another single.
Yeah, what you don't want to do if you're Surrey really is allow them just to knock it around and win at a canter. Alright, it might take them 18 or 19 overs, but maybe bring the field up a little bit. Make them force it and see if they do, fair play.
Cut away again, this time off Catherine Bryce's bat. Same result, 1 run.
It's interesting, they seem... It's the last couple of balls of the over where they change that field and move the boundary rider a little bit further round at almost a deep cover.
Driven through that gap, it'll just be the single though. To Sarah. 59 for 2 after 10. Sorry, we're 60 for 2 after 10. So lots of symmetry in the runs scored and the wickets so far. And if you watch on the live stream, you may be able to see a shot of the scoreboard there where it was showing the run rate worm, and it was almost identical. I suppose those untidy overs at the beginning of the Surrey bowling innings are similar to that first and second over that Kirsty Gordon was scored off heavily.
Phoebe Franklin back into the attack, keep her up. Pace off, but it's hit straight to the skipper, Bryony Smith. Yeah, what did we have? 27 off the first couple of overs. So the Blaze have only managed 32 runs in the 8.1 overs since. Flicked in the air, wide of Alice Monaghan, so just a single. Just those couple of boundaries I was talking about. Since the second over, there was one in the first over, the no ball that Marie Kelly put away. Then there was a trio of boundaries in that Alexa Stonehouse second over, and at that point, everyone here is thinking, well, the Blaze going to do this in 10, 12 overs. Pace off, drop and run. Bryony Smith was back on the edge of the 25-yard circle. But credit to Surrey, they've been excellent with the ball since that moment. Catherine Bryce is 24 from 28, Sarah Bryce 6 from 10. Settle for 1. And just 3 off the over so far. That run rate required just ticking up. Every ball up to 7.61 right now.
Maybe this surface isn't as easy to score off as the climate and the pictures suggest.
That might be a much needed boundary. It is a much needed boundary for Catherine Bryce. Grace Harris, no, it's not Grace Harris out there. Who is it out there? The boundary rider had come fairly square, teased her. Catherine Bryce placed it exactly where she wanted it, and in the end, it goes over the ropes. The boundary rider has moved slightly now. 66 for 2, last ball of the 11th. Can't get that one away. So a decent over there from Phoebe Franklin, spoiled slightly by that boundary. 7 off it, so still enough to make the run rate required tick up ever so slightly. But yeah, I'm just having a look back through the various overs. There was 9 off the 5th, but otherwise we've had overs where 2, 1, 2, 4, 3 have been conceded. 4 as well. So the majority of the Blazers' runs have come in just 3 of these overs.
Danielle Gregory, is it? No, Callie Moore. Oh, hang on. It's Danielle Gregory who is going to continue for a 3rd over. And that's a dot. She flicked the ball up then like an off spinner for a second. She did. Is that Callie Moore again? But no, it's Danielle Gregory. She's a little bit taller than Callie Moore. Cut away. Just give herself a little bit of room there, Sarah Bryce. Just be the single. Callie Moore will do the fielding out there at cover point. Yeah, they just keep swapping that mid-wicket fielder and bringing it across to reinforce the offside, don't they? I think they should just go with the offside field and try and dot up through the offside. And if they want to go to the leg side, take the risk, but it's only 1 because of the boundary riders. As they take another single here on the square as skipper Smith comes round to cut it off from extra cover.
So Gregory will have 1 left after this. Rihanna McDonald-Gay has bowled 2 overs for 3 so far. Clea Moore 2 overs for 9. I'd be tempted to go to McDonald-Gay pretty soon again.
Down the track, met on the full. Was there a fingertip on that? There's no inquiry from the bowler. Hits the stumps, goes up to mid, long on, I beg your pardon, for another single. Good use of the feet there from Sarah Bryce.
7 bowlers used so far from Bryony Smith, not including herself. She's another option if she wanted to make it number 8. Alice Monaghan bowled just the 1 legitimate ball. 0.1 overs, 0 for 7 she bowled. Alice Davison-Richards completed that over for her after she was removed from the attack for a couple of beamers. Here's that change of field they've been making most overs. Mid-wicket comes across.
Down the track, nicked through the vacant cordon area. The chase is on. It will get cut off by Alice Davidson-Richards, but they'll come back for a 2nd run. So that one looks a grip in the surface and spin away from the right-handed Catherine Bryce, who nicks that one through the vacant slip area.
Whenever anyone says the chase is on, the Spice Girls song always comes into my head. That's where my head goes, into that beat. I'm going to listen to that in the car on the way home.
Pulled away this time. Deep in the crease goes Catherine Bryce there to be able to access the ball. Just not letting Danielle Gregory settle. That's the end of the 12th over. Blaze 72 for 2. Catherine Bryce on to 32. Sarah Bryce on 9. Current run rate 6s. The required run rate up to 7.6. From a ball's point of view, 61 required from 48. It is more than manageable from a Blaze point of view. Surrey just hanging in there at the moment though, Sam Dowling.
They are. Can they make it interesting? It would certainly be a twist. 2 Bryce sisters out there in the middle, both just dabbing their brows with a towel, having a little drink. It's a day for drinks. And the drink for most of us should be water. It is scorching out there. Most of the crowd, which is healthy, hidden in the shade. Phoebe Franklin's going to continue. Pace off. Catherine Bryce can't get it past Alice Monaghan. It's going to be hot for Kira Chatley as well under that helmet for most of the time. standing up to the stumps, to the spinners and the medium pacers. Bryce has got 32. Catherine Bryce, that is, from 34. Can't get that one away. Well bowled, just followed her. They've done really well, Surrey. What they have done really well is they watched the Blaze bowl. They realised what worked. Stump to stump, no width. They've tried as far as they can to emulate it. Tad short. Allows Catherine Bryce to pick up a single. Out to Emma Jones.
Point reinforced on the offside again now, so no mid-wicket. Single on offer through the leg side.
Pace off. Sarah Bryce waited and waited, but in the end she hit it straight back at the bowler and on the ground. This is very good from Phoebe Franklin. That's the second button we need. We needed the button in the first innings to say Cassidy McCarthy is doing the fielding out in the deep, and in this innings it's been that little switch up, mid-wicket going to backward point, and the sweeper going a little bit further towards deep extra cover. Short ball pulled in the air. Is there a chance of a catch? There was half a chance of a catch. It would have been absolutely spectacular. Alas, from a Surrey perspective, Kalia Moore, who stuck out a right hand diving, couldn't get there. Another much needed boundary. This time it's Sarah Bryce that picks it up. She moves to a baker's dozen. The Blaze up to 77 for 2.
Yeah, she wasn't far away from that. She didn't pick it up straight away, as I didn't with the ball, and then she didn't get too far away from it in the end.
Might pick up 2 here. It's gone wide of long on. Alice Davidson Richards does really well. Will they think about a third? No, they won't. They'll settle for 2. 6 off those last couple of balls. Just ruins the over a little bit from a Surrey perspective. And of the over, 13 gone. 79 for 2. The Blaze are here. Sarah Bryce is unbeaten on 50. Her older sister Catherine has 33. The partnership between the pair of them is now worth 33 from 34 balls. And if they keep going for another 6 or 7 overs, the Blaze will win the game comfortably by reaching the 133 runs required.
Gregory will continue. 4th on the bounce for her from the Stuart Broad end. It's nicked to again. As Catherine Bryce comes down the track. I say nicked, it's probably jammed into the surface actually, having considered what came out of my mouth there. But certainly done in the flight again. Down the track comes Sarah Bryce as well, who plays that with a more of a horizontal bat and opens the face and hits it through that big gap between, well, third and extra cover. So Danielle Gregory's got a ball very straight to this field with mid-off, extra cover and short third in the circle, and she's on the money, full on straight there as Catherine Bryce pushes that one up to the bowler to field off her own. (81 for 2). Run rate up to 8 now as Bryce is up, inside out. It's gonna land safe. They can think about 2 and then decide against it, or should I say Sarah Bryce says to her sister no. Catherine was pretty keen to come back. Bryony Smith running round there from that very straight extra cover, couldn't quite get there, and then Kalia Moore doing the mopping up in the end. Teaser of a shot. Pulled away this time. Doesn't get all of it, it goes very straight as Long Gone will do the fielding. So another single to the total of the Blaze. 83 for 2 now.
Yeah, that previous one, if there's an orthodox cover there, it just goes straight into her hands, doesn't it? I don't think Bryony Smith had any chance of getting around though.
Reverse sweep. Got the elevation on this one. And it's going to be a tester for the Surrey fielders. Great piece of fielding. Flick back perfectly. 3 harrying down that ball there. So they'll come back for 2.
Yeah, straight away, both Phoebe Franklin and Alice Davison-Richards were herring after that one. It was Franklin putting in the dive to pull it back. Alice Davison-Richards chucking it in. Everyone's going to have a drink by the looks of things. Sensible, the umbrella comes out to give a little bit of shade to the Bryce sisters. Plays 48 from 36 required if they are to pick up a win and close that gap. Bonus point out of the equation now. They're not going to get the required runs in time. You wouldn't have thought. It would be win number 7 for the Blaze. They've only lost the 1 game, but they've had, well, the tie, first game of the season here at Trent Bridge against Warwickshire, and those couple of no results. So actually their record at Trent Bridge this summer, through no real fault of their own, I guess the tie, I mean, they could have won that game, but they've had a couple rained off. They played 1 up at Chesterfield, so would this be their first win at Trent Bridge of the T20 summer?
You're testing me now.
I think they lost both games to rain.
Yeah.
Other than the...
Well, yeah, I haven't covered all of them, but it doesn't feel like we've been at Trent Bridge that often, does it, for the T20s, given the outground games. They played the game at Leicester, of course, as well. So, where is this game heading? 8 runs required per over for the next 6 overs. Will get Blaze there. They've 8 wickets in hand.
Yeah, they're the favourites, heavy favourites. It will take something spectacular from a Surrey perspective, but it was around this time, a couple of balls before, in fact, in the Surrey innings, where they lost wicket number 3, and they ended up 9 down for 132.
I think you look at the playing 11 and you think the depth of the Blaze. They've got an Australian international still to come in Heather Graham. Yes, Ella Claridge and Michaela Kirker still finding their way in professional cricket, but they're very explosive batters. And you've got experience in Sarah Glenn and Kirsty Gordon at 8 and 9 in the batting order. So you would think that if these two don't get Blaze over the line, that one of those 4 I've mentioned will.
Rhiannon McDonald-Gay, change of ends for her. I was hoping Bryony Smith would bring her back into the attack soon. She was superb. That's her 11th dot ball. She's bowled 13 deliveries, 2.1 overs. She's gone for just 3 runs. And the Blaze have failed to score off 11 of them. If she can double that up here in her spell, then the Blaze will be under a little bit of pressure. The beauty for them is even if they get stuck, we're talking about a cameo of 20 off 13 or 14 here rather than a 40 off 20, 25 for somebody. Cut away in front of square, and it's a boundary. The fielder out there, Emma Jones, with the current field, the early over field for Surrey, with a mid-wicket in and a big gap on the offside, has allowed that boundary. It wasn't the best ball Rhiannon McDonald-Gay has bowled. It sat up nicely. Sarah Bryce put it away.
It's really smart cricket though. There's a big gap there, like you say. She does give herself room, but she uses all of her bat vertically. It's pretty low risk cricket.
Pace off. Slog sweep. It's gone up in the air. Can Alice Davison-Richards get round? Yes, she has. She's taken the catch. Huge wicket. Huge celebrations. Sarah Bryce has to go for 21 from 22 balls. It was pace off from McDonald-Gay. Bryce looking to go big. Didn't get enough of it. Blaze have lost their 3rd wicket, 89 for 3.
Yeah, slightly out of character that from Sarah Bryce. She played a gorgeous shot, giving herself room the ball before. Then this time decides to go to the leg side. And a player of Alice Davison-Richards' experience doesn't drop them in the deep.
It just felt slightly needless. And you know, fair enough. She's seeing the ball well. She's feeling confident. T20 game, take it on. But the partnership was worth 43 off 42. Two sisters were there. They were set back as they just had a drink. They would have just had a chat. I'd imagine the conversation between the two of them is like, well, we'll do this. If we just bat for 5 or 6 overs here, if we bat through to the end, we'll win this game for ourselves. Anyway, not going to be the case. Catherine Bryce is still there unbeaten on 36, but Heather Graham has had to make her way out into the middle. Anna McDonald-Gate is 1 for 7 from her 2.3 overs so far. They're just having a conversation about where to station Emma Jones. So I think they're going to leave mid-wicket in. Quite a straight mid-wicket actually. But they're also going to have a deep cover rather than a deep backward point. And it'll be a wide. Graham immediately looking for the leg side where there's big gaps. There's a deep square leg, Danny Gregory. Phoebe Franklin is at deep mid-wicket. So she was just looking to shuffle across and back herself to hit the ball. And McDonald-Gay saw her going, tried to go a little bit straighter, but in the end, it just veered down the leg side. This time she does get it away. Just a single though, I think. And the Graham off the mark, 91 for 3. I just wonder if there's a tight finish here. En route, James. Something about it. Hot day. Head slightly scrambled. Now we see mid-wicket come out. Unless Monaghan's gone to backward point. Slow ball outside off stump. Just one out to Emma Jones, who's got a rocket arm out there.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it is going to be relatively close. I think this pair, there's too much class in this pair not to get Blaze over the line, but it's going to be closer than you would have thought at the halfway stage. The style of bowling that's on, spin and medium pace.
Flicked up. It was a slower ball, it was pace off. I'm not really sure what Graham was trying to do there. She checked out of the shot. It was relatively low risk in the sense there's no mid-wicket, no mid-on. So there's no one in the circle on the leg side. Anyway, she ends up picking up one. McDonald-Gay's bowled 3 overs. Picked up 1 for 11. Big wicket of Sarah Bryce. Caught at long on, trying to hit a slower ball over deep mid-wicket. In that previous over, Alice Davidson-Richards taking the catch. So the Blaze, after 15, are 93 for 3.
Yeah, I think you trade that boundary in the end, wouldn't you, for the wicket of Sarah Bryce. The partnership needed breaking. But like anything, the downside when you see another quality batter come out, you do question whether it was worth getting him out. But I think the only way Surrey win this is to have a dip at Heather Graham when she first comes out. She's faced 2 balls so far. She showed her class at Chesterfield last week with a match-winning innings. Callie Moore then back on. She bowled 2 overs so far. This one's worked into leg side and press that button again because Phoebe Franklin does the fielding at mid-wicket. Moore off spin over the wicket. Phoebe Franklin. Oh, she's wore one. Great dive there. They come through for a single, but it just hit something in the footmarks, didn't it, on one of those used pitches? I don't know what it hit on her body, maybe a shoulder.
Or is it a drain cover or something like that? Just the way it bounced up, it was a pretty dramatic change of direction there. Not the first one she's worn today either.
Moore hits Graham on the pad there. She goes across that one, but it was leg side and there was no appeal.
She can get out of this over. I know we're only halfway through it, but just having gone for 1 or 2, and all of a sudden that required rate is nearly 10s.
Well, she's bowled 10 dots as well. I know she's gone for 9 off her 15 balls, 2.3 overs, but she's bowled 10 dots. So she's certainly building pressure here. This one, she tries to overhit off the back foot and gets a thick inside edge and just drops at her feet. And Kira Chatley will kill the ball dead as she collects it. 11 dots from Callie Moore now. On the pads again, it'll be worked into the leg side. They're going to think about two. It's one of those teasing ones where it's not hit straight at the boundary rider, but great work out there from Alice Monaghan. 12 dots. She's bowled 2 overs of dot balls now, Callie Moore. Just what the Surrey management team would have wanted. Bryce down the track, turns this one into leg side. This is hit better, so it goes straight to Alice Monaghan, who will fire the ball back in to the gloves of Kira Chatley. So, after 16 Blaze, 95 for 3 now. That run rate required is up to 9.5. And as Sam Dallin called it, could Callie Moore just get out of that over? I would suggest she did. That over goes for just the 3. 4 remain. Catherine Bryce well set. She's just tickled along at 38 from 42 balls.
So I'm just having a quick look. I make it, and I'm doing quick math here, so forgive me if I'm wrong. What we've got 4 overs left, so we've had 96 balls of this innings. 36 ones, 7 twos, takes us to 43, and 9 fours takes us to 52. So I think we've had 44 dots already. We were talking about the Blazes dots. I reckon they only had 41 with 4 overs to go. It's been exceptional. And I see a change of bowling. Grace Harris into the attack with her off spin. It's not a brilliant start. It was too short. Catherine Bryce has pulled it, and pulled it well behind square, giving absolutely no chance to the fielder at deep square there. Again, suddenly the pressure is off. They were up to needing almost 10 and over, and that's now down to 34 from 23. Interesting decision to go to Grace Harris here.
Well, Moore's got 1 left, McDonald Gay's got 1 left, and Franklin's got 1 left. So they're going to have to find some overs from somewhere.
Oh, what's that? Has it missed everything? Has it taken the outside edge? It's going to be a couple more runs at least. It's gone all the way for 4. It's buys. It's gone against the wicket keeper. And that takes the Blaze past the 100 mark. 103 for 3 in the space of that couple of deliveries. Oh, the pressure, or a good chunk of the pressure, has just been taken off. One's turned a little bit.
It did turn, yeah. So just going back to that bowl analysis, Alice Monaghan is done. She can't bowl again. Alice Davison-Richards has got 3 left if she's chosen to bowl. Alexa Stonehouse has got 2 left.
Oh, could be a chance of a stumping. He isn't giving us a wide. She saw her coming. Catherine Bryce used her feet. Grace Harris chucked that pretty wide. Good bit of work from Chatley. Catherine Bryce just asking the question politely of Gabby Brown, saying that one was pretty wide, Gabs, and the response is, yep, but you were moving around in the crease, and so you get a bit more leeway as a bowler. Clever from Grace Harris, using all her experience. And Bryony Smith just slowing it down to ask Grace Harris a question about the field, and the answer is yes, please. We'll move mid-wicket across. And as Monaghan comes from mid-wicket to backward point with 2 balls left in the over. It's going to become a classic Surrey move, that, as it's pulled into the leg side, into a gap. And Alice Davison-Richards did really well. She came round from long on, put the slide in and flicked it up. And I thought that actually she might have flicked it up over the boundary. She just misjudged it, but fortunately Phoebe Franklin was there to clean up. A couple of runs. Last ball of over number 17, 28 from 19. A little bit of pressure. Catherine Bryce looking for the single. And the Graham saying no. 105 for 3. 3 overs left. 28 from 18. And actually, Harris did really well there. I mean, gone for the boundary off the first ball, the loosener, and those 4 buys. He turned it into an okay over.
Well, it was 10 off the over, wasn't it? 6 off the bat. 10 off the over, so the run rate comes down, but only ever so slightly. If that last ball goes for 2, the run rate comes down by a whole run. So the Blaze are edging towards the summit, but the run rate isn't going down, and Surrey will feel that's just about still in it. Calliamore will continue. She's 3 overs, 1 for 11 so far, having bowled 11 dots. She can mirror that in this last over. She'll be very happy. This is a full toss. It's gone all the way out to long on, and it's out. Heather Graham's hold out to long on, and Calliamore has picked up her second. And is there another twist in this tale, as Blaze are now reduced to 105 for 4?
Well, she'll bowl better balls and not pick up wickets, Calliamore. But in T20 cricket in particular, anything can happen. Alice Davidson-Richards, who's having to work pretty hard out there in the sunshine, she is doing the long on stint. She needs a bicycle to get around from one end of the boundary to the other. But that is why you put your key fielders in that particular position, because a lot of balls go there. Comfortable catch. Heather Graham just trying to force it, I think. I can see the thinking behind it as well. If you get a good start to the over, suddenly the bowling side's under massive pressure, but it's gone the wrong way from a Blaze perspective.
It's 1.5 runs per ball required, so the batters have to do something here. And yes, it was a full toss, but it was a low full toss. It's a big boundary out there. So I would say kudos to the bowler. Ella Claridge takes strike for her first delivery, tries to sweep that one down the leg side. It's signalled wide by Neil Pratt. Will Surrey look back on those couple of overs at the beginning and think what could have been? More in again. Fallen outside the off stump this time. Claridge will get off the mark as she punts that one up to mid off for a single.
27 off 2. Those first 2 overs. Scored 79 runs. Right now 80 runs off the next 15.2 overs.
Full toss again. This one's turned round into deep square leg by Catherine Bryce, who just showed a little bit of frustration on her body language there and slapped her thigh. Perhaps because she wanted more than just a single. The fielders stationed in the right places. Hit hard by McCarthy. Doesn't get all of it. It'll go up to Alice Davidson-Richards at long on for just a single. So Calliamore certainly doing her best here for Surrey. She edges to the end of her allotment. Bryce hits this one hard into the leg side. They'll think about 2 here, but great fielding out there by Alice Monaghan, reducing it to just a single.
Just the 5 runs off the over so far. She can escape this over without conceding a boundary. Suddenly the Blaze are under huge pressure.
Down the track, it'll just be the single though. Squeezed out by Claridge. So 1-1-1 for 4 after 18. Run rate required up to 11 now. 22 required from 12 balls. And Calliamore ends her allotment of 4 overs. No maidens, 2 wickets for the 17 runs and 12 dot balls. Half her balls are dot balls. That is so key in T20 cricket.
I wondered where they would go next. Would it be McDonald Gay? Would it be Phoebe Franklin? Would it be Stonehouse? They've gone for McDonald Gay. More than half of her balls have been dot balls, 66.6, and as many sixes as you want to stick on the end recurring percent of her balls have been dots. 12 from 18. She's got an over left. I like this. Temptation might have been to give her the last over, but try and put as much pressure on the Blaze in the penultimate one. Make them need 15, 16, 18 off that last. Claridge on strike. They need boundaries. They've only had 10 in the innings so far. Try something a little bit different. She's got fine leg up in the circle, so it's a good option just to try and flick it over that field. It was down the leg side, not a wide, because Claridge was jumping around. So McDonald Gate has 13 dots, and hats off to Surrey. Whatever happens from here, I honestly thought they were down and out after a couple of overs. It just felt like a day where nothing was going to go their way. Pace off. Hit into the leg side. Doesn't carry as far as Phoebe Franklin at deep mid wicket, but it's another single. That's all it is. That run rate creeping up every delivery now. 12.6. Almost at a stage where Surrey are favourites. Would not have thought that after 2 overs. 27 without loss. Chasing 133 with 18 left. They were. Pace off again, hit into the leg side again, falls short of Phoebe Franklin, who takes no risk there. That half a temptation might have been to try and shuffle forward and take the catch. In the end, I don't think she'd have got there actually, but I think she took the safe option as well, and the right option by just hanging back, allowing it to bounce and keeping it to 1. Again, pace off, and again it's absolutely exceptional from Rihanna McDonald Gay. Claridge, you can see the frustration. Again, she was looking to go over short fine leg, so McDonald Gay hides it outside off stump. 14 dots she's bowled. 20 now needed from 8 deliveries, the Blaze. Exceptional stuff. This is why Surrey are top of the table. They didn't let their heads drop. Pace off again. She goes big again, Claridge. I think this time it's going to be taken by Phoebe Franklin right on the boundary's edge. She gets a round of applause from McDonald Gate, who wanders back to her mark nonchalantly. Claridge has to go for 4. The Blaze have lost their 5th wicket. It's another dot ball. Take a bow, Rihanna McDonald Gate. There's a lot of pressure on Catherine Bryce now.
There is indeed, and rolling the dice with going Rihanna McDonald Gate and over early in the penultimate has paid off. I just wonder whether the Blaze have just gone a bit samey through this run chase, knocking it into the leg side, taking 1, dabbing it to cover point boundary, taking 1. You've got extra cover up, and you've got mid-off up in the circle. And Rihanna McDonald Gay bowling full and straight with the keeper stood back. Surely a risk to take is to go over the top straight there and try and access that boundary. The Blaze need boundaries. It's too predictable to dash it into the leg side with catches on the rope.
Michaela Kirk is the new batter. Her remit will be to hit a boundary here and keep Catherine Bryce on strike. She attempts to. She swings through it. They're going to run hard, but I don't think they're going to get back for 2. No, they're not. Just a single, so that is the last thing the Blaze wanted, really. Kirk is off the strike. Off strike. At the end of over number 19, the Blaze are 114 for 5. They need 19 off that last over, and Rihanna McDonald Gay has bowled 4 overs and taken 2 for 14, including the wickets of Ella Claridge and Marie Kelly. She has been exceptional.
15 dots, incredible.
Exactly 100 runs off the bat now in the innings for the Blaze. They've come off 61 balls and we've had 114. So we're up to 53 dots, is it? Oh, my maths is me head. I can't deal with it.
Franklin then to bowl the last. Cut away. Will they get it through? Great fielding by Danny O'Gregory, who does a little commando roll, stops the ball going through. So just be the single, brings Catherine Bryce back on strike.
55 dots.
Blaze require 18 from 5 balls. Got to access the boundary here. What and where can Catherine Bryce go? She can go straight towards the scoreboard, towards extra cover. She could ramp it over the leg side. She's down the track. She's gone over mid-off. 1 bounce 4. Great strike from Catherine Bryce. It's almost what we needed to see to Rihanna McDonald Gay in the over before with the field up. But she's took the calculated risk. We've got 4 runs for it. It's 50 as well, 51. She won't be too bothered about that at the moment. She's got bigger fish to fry in trying to get her team over the line in this run chase. 51 off 52 deliveries. Catherine Bryce, 119 for 5, 14 required, 4 balls remain. Down the track again, hits it hard. It's going to go straight to that very straight extra cover where Bryony Smith is stationed, and it'll just be a single.
Brilliant from Bryony Smith. So you can see the calmness around her. She's been calm this entire innings, even when things were going wrong right at the start. You just knew that she just picked that one up, was quite happy with the single.
13 required off 3. Kirk on strike. Turned into leg side. They're going to run the first one hard. They're not going to get back for a second. So 12 off 2. No more maths required. Blaze have dug themselves into a hole here, and it's not impossible, but it's unlikely. Bryce on strike. Taps a bat. Franklin in. She's missed it, misses everything. Goes between the batter and leg stump. And other than a no ball 6, this last delivery is pretty much academic. Not quite sure how we've got here, Sam Dallin.
It's been magnificent from Surrey. Didn't see it coming.
Last ball, 12 required. Drilled hard up the ground. Alice Davison Richards will do the fielding, and the Blaze finish on 122 for 5. They come 11 short of the total. Incredible bowling performance up front by the Blaze, but bowling performance on bowling performance, Surrey have outperformed the Blaze with the ball and in the field, and they win by 10 runs. What do you make of that, Sam?
It's hard to put it into words, and I know that's my job. I think, as I've said, exceptional from Surrey, because at no point in the first 20 odd overs, 22 overs were they ahead. It was about even, and then they collapsed, and you think T20 is so much about momentum. They went from 91 for 2 with 6.2 overs left to 132 for 9. So they fell apart with the bat, and we said the Blaze were exceptional with the ball, and then it looked like they were falling apart. If I take people back to the start, Alice Monahan bowls 2 beamers. She's out of the attack straight away. Alexa Stonehouse's first over, the second over of the innings, goes for 15, 27 for 2, chasing 133 in front of your home crowd with a strong batting lineup. There was only really one team that was supposed to win this game, but Bryony Smith has captained it brilliantly. She's used her bowlers perfectly. We look at that. Gregory, 4 overs, 1 for 18. Aaliyah Moore, 4 overs, 2 for 17. Rhiannon McDonald-Gay, 4 overs, 2 for 14. They've only conceded 11 boundaries in 22 overs. 4 of those came in the first 2 overs. And weirdly, you have to look at the Blaze and say they've misjudged that, because they've lost 3 quite late wickets. To lose that game by 10 runs and only be 5 down at the end, having lost a couple of wickets in the last couple of overs, something's gone wrong there. They're going to sit down. It's going to be quite a quiet dressing room, I think, for the Blaze.
Yeah, I think spot on. I mentioned it just an over or 2 ago. The Blaze knocked it round perfectly like it was one-day cricket, hence why they're only 5 wickets down. But they never really got ahead of the rate. They allowed themselves to just tick along at 5s and 6s. And they just slowly but surely, over and over, got themselves half an over behind the 8 ball, and then another half behind, and then another half behind. And then they needed 12 off the last 2 balls and 22 off the last 2 overs. So that's how the run rate just climbs up on them. Mid-off stayed up in the circle for a long time. We had a very straight extra cover. If you can pierce those 2 or go over the top of those 2, there is lots of reward, 4s and 6s with a straight bat. It's very low risk with the keeper back, but they never took that on. They seemed to go to the leg side a lot with 3 catchers on the boundary ropes. So they're going to have to look at that and think about where can they access those pockets to access boundaries. And just one little other bit of analysis that I noticed, and I know this is very critical, and I kind of half mentioned it before, but I've gone back through that first over. The 3 hits that Marie Kelly faced went for 1 leg by, a dot and a dot. And when you look at margins, talked about chipping it into the leg side for singles, or chipping it into leg side and holing out catches versus going over the top and the offside where there's gaps, or not trying to throw caution to the wind with 3 free hits. That's where perhaps those small margins, and you win games by very small margins of 10 runs, where games are won and lost. So disappointment for the Blaze. Kudos and fair play to Surrey. They've dragged themselves off the pitch with a victory, which was certainly not expected at the interval stage. And yeah, we're pretty flabbergasted, aren't we?
Yeah, it's strange. And to back your point up, I'm just having a look at the wagon wheel, and there's nothing really scored in the wicket-keepers V. And in T20 cricket, they tried it a couple of times, a little scoop shot, but it was almost too late. There was nothing particularly inventive about it early, nothing that made the bowlers have to change their plans. So often, we were joking about it in the innings, so often Surrey could just do exactly what they wanted. 4 balls into the over, mid-wicket, came to backward point, the boundary rider went a little bit squarer, and actually, reflecting on it now, we were joking on about it, but you shouldn't be allowed to do that. But to batting side, you shouldn't let the bowling side do it. So stuff for them to think about, definitely stuff for them to think about. They've got a chance to rectify it very quickly. They're on the road, they're down to Essex on Sunday. They actually finished with 3 away games because of starting with 4 home games. So it's Sussex, Essex, then Somerset, then Hampshire. None of those sides are currently in the top 4, but they still need to keep winning games, the Blaze. It's tight-ish in that table. Surrey have gone up to, 41? Blaze 31 now. 3 games to go. Need another win, maybe another couple of wins to secure that finals day spot comfortably.
Yeah, I think, Blaze, Bears, Lancashire probably fighting out 2 for 3 spots, aren't they? Hampshire get up tonight, they're still in the mix, but you would think that between Thunder, Bears and the Blaze that 2 of them are fighting for 3. I'll tell you something, finals day is going to be pretty tasty, because these 2 so far in both 50 over cricket and T20 over cricket, and historically, like you say, have had some seriously entertaining games of cricket. Likewise, the Blaze are an entertaining side, and the Thunder have come on leaps and bounds in the T20 format. So, a lot to think about from the Blaze point of view. Surrey will be very happy on the bus home to the Oval. Thanks for joining us. I've not been Sam Dallin. You've been Sam Dallin. I've been James Carr. And until next time, we'll see you very soon.